Get the one-liner.
We're back to talk about some Avengers. We all saw Endgame, and we wanted to chat about it a little. Jake has a list of like a lot of the major events, and we're gonna kind of just go off of that and just chat about it and our thoughts, and just go from there.
Oh, spoiler warning.
Yeah, this is a warning. We are going to have spoilers right off the bat, so if you haven't seen the movie and
you haven't
don't
seen
want
it
spoiled
yet,
on it,
too bad for you.
Yeah, you should probably go see it just in
seen
case. Because we are just not
over
going to
now.
go back on spoilers. So, do you want to take it away, Jake?
1 second. I would like to see how this would work if we did the spoiler-free just version of...
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that'd be so hard.
Right.
My second
That'd be
point
great.
is Thanos is beheaded, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
If
really.
you want to go for no spoilers.
Well, too late.
I went for the head.
So the opening scene, though, is Hawkeye teaching his daughter to be Hawkeye 2. Which
2.0.
he also has been confirmed to have a Disney... Is it Disney Plus?
Disney Plus.
A Disney Plus TV show, and a lot of people are thinking the synopsis is going to be him training his daughter to be his Hawkeye replacement.
I could see that.
Besides the fact, okay, so he's training her to be Hawkeye, and his family gets dusted while he's just looking away, and then comes back, and they're all gone.
Really good opening scene.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I think
You were
it's
right, by the way. You coined that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you predicted that.
I think
Yeah.
it was great to show how a lot of people who had no idea that there was a Thanos situation at all, like a lot of civilians, this is how it happened for them.
It was very private.
Yes.
They were
You know,
just
it was a
gone.
private war, basically, going
Yep.
on. You know, it's not like the Battle of New York where it's like in the middle of
Right.
the Mecca.
Yeah, so I thought that was probably the best opening they could have gone with. Because it was someone we knew, but yet it was from a civilian style standpoint.
Yeah, he'd given it up and everything. Can you imagine how many hours he was running around just looking for his family? Because they're just not there anymore.
5 years
Yeah.
worth.
Aww. No, he got busy with some other stuff.
Slice and dice.
The next major thing to happen is the Avengers actually finding Thanos, where he went, the planet and everything, following him there and then exacting a revenge.
Thor went for the head.
Yeah, I can't remember
Yeah,
what they
that's pretty
called
much...
the planet, but
yeah.
I know they called it the Garden.
Yeah, it
And
was his garden,
was,
yeah.
It was he was the only one there, which was really
Something's
interesting.
very off to me whenever they're like, wait a minute, this is only like 20-something minutes in and they're on.
Yeah.
We see
Yeah.
Thanos already, but then
Right.
as soon as you look at him, he's in no position to fight.
Yeah.
He's done.
Right.
Like, he has no reason to fight anymore.
He has a limp
He
and
can't,
everything.
really.
Yeah.
Like, he's an old, beaten up, like, destroy, like, he used the stones, destroy the stones.
Right.
And he's, like, half dead, and then... when Captain Marvel just pretty much like almost can solo him right there,
Yeah.
But
She
then they
beats
do a
him.
great job at hiding that he doesn't have the stones.
Right.
Because as the floor's coming up, it's Hulkbuster, right? Comes to the floor.
Yeah, I think so.
And then, Thor cuts off his arm, and I'm like, oh man, it's already over?
Right?
What? And, but I loved...
Oh, actually, we
part.
totally forgot about Iron Man's thing.
Oh, shit.
How did we forget about that?
I haven't seen the movie in a week.
best.
This is the best list I could come up with.
best.
Okay, we'll go back to it anyway.
All right. I loved when he goes, I used the stones to destroy the stones and nearly killed me. And his whole face is
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
he's destroyed.
precursor to later.
Yeah.
Tear. But when Thor just is like, I've had enough, and just kills him, cuts his head off,
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
like, holy shit, like, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Like,
You can tell Thor's at odds with himself at that point.
he didn't
He's
want
like-
to do that. Like, he was so mad at Thanos because he lost, really.
Yeah. And
he goes, I
he
built...
failed, so he takes it out on Thanos.
and he goes through the whole effort of building Stormbreaker, and he almost, gets victory, but then just doesn't. It's like he just barely, and then like when he says, I went for the head, I actually kind of laughed at that. Even though it's supposed to be serious.
Right.
But like as he's going out, like they play the ending music of Infinity War, and I'm like, oh, then I've laughed. It was like credits. And then
Yes.
it like stops and he goes, ha ha, you thought it was over. And then they go back up and then...
Oh no, we've got another 2 hours and 40 minutes to this
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
Well, the Iron
guys
Man
had
stuff
you. Yep.
being
Yeah.
in the ship for 22 days, it was kind of eerie seeing him so emaciated
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
them picking him up and all that.
Really weak.
I I loved him taking his anger out on Cap when he comes back.
Oh, I love that.
He's just like screaming at him like, you said, trust me. I trusted you. I'll never trust you again. And then collapses to the ground. It was great.
He goes, a suit of armor around the world.
It was my idea.
Yeah, and, you guys all laughed at me and, didn't really want to do that. Because of Age of Ultron. But, it just was really weird seeing, his bones.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
he looked like he was going to die, any day.
Yeah.
But
he was.
I think that's the point.
But just seeing
Yeah.
him see Cap and Pepper, that was so cool. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
But you could see he's very visibly still angry at Captain America because from Civil War, and plus he wasn't there. You remember that how he said that he goes, "You weren't there."
Yeah.
It was almost like he wanted you told me you were going to be there, and he wasn't there. So
Yeah.
I think that's why he was really mad at.
I think
Cap.
that's a real frustrating thing for Tony Stark's character is that he was never wrong about any of this.
Mm-hmm.
It was just more the approach and how things turned out. But
Yeah.
I mean, he spent his entire pretty much character arc preventing this, and it happened.
And that was the whole thing with Age of Ultron. His vision came true.
Yeah, and then
Yep.
do you remember when he
All of
sees
his friends
Captain
were dead
Marvel?
around him.
Yes, that first scene where Scarlet Witch projects that in his head, that's almost not exactly how it happens,
Right.
but it happens in almost the same sort of way. But you see when he sees Captain Marvel for the first time, not in the ship, but when they're on Earth and everything, he goes, "You're new blood." He goes, "We need you around here." And then he just that's when he takes the arc reactor and he
Yeah.
collapses to the ground.
Yeah.
But then you could tell he's just done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's done with the hero stuff. He's just, I'm done.
He's been trying his best this whole time to no avail.
Yeah, and it didn't work, and then he's just, that's it.
Although, speaking of Captain Marvel, in that scene, I was a little disappointed how they added her into the movie. Because, she's just...
She fucks off for a lot of the movie.
Yeah!
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah, she's gone.
Other than just not be in the movie until the very end.
Thank you. And, even
was
the
very
beginning, they kind of
Well-
totally banked on everybody seeing that end cutscene where, the pager is going off to call her and she arrives and where's Fury and all this stuff. They really banked on you doing seeing that and they were that's her introduction to being here and that's all we're gonna cover for it.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I kept waiting whenever she came with the ship with Tony for everybody to be like, who is this?
Yeah.
And everybody was like, yeah, no, we know her. And I'm like,
Yeah.
do we?
That was
Yeah,
the
it was
most
really odd.
newcomer, unfriendly thing of the movie,
Yeah.
I would say.
I do like how they got rid of her for most of the movie because they
Yes.
had to. Because she's okay, how do you get rid of this all-powerful superhero through half the movie, really?
Yeah.
Because it's about the original Avengers. It's not about the new
We
Avengers.
got two options.
So we'll send her in space for 90% of the movie.
Yeah.
Then bring her back, which she makes. Well, I'll just say that.
Or you just
for
don't
later.
include her in the movie in the first place and problem solved.
Nathan's
Yeah.
got a
That's
huge problem
that-
with Captain Marvel.
No, I have a problem with them adding a character at the very
Yeah.
end that's way more powerful than everybody else, and
Yeah.
it doesn't fit with what they had gone for 11 years. It was just, I was afraid of this, and I'm glad that she left, but it just was, even that was such an odd scene.
Yeah.
There's other worlds that need me. You're not that important. They got you, alright.
Yeah.
Man, the dialogue was bad, and it just felt weird, and she was just kind of an asshole to everybody.
Yeah.
Just because it just felt weird.
Yeah.
Even between the actors and actresses, there was almost an animosity there of their interaction. I don't know why. I don't know if that's because maybe she really did have a lot of feuds with a lot of the characters during filming with the actual people. Maybe they really didn't get as long as I think a lot of us have seen the interviews and stuff recently. Boy, they don't seem to like each other.
Right.
Between a couple of the cast members. It comes off on screen, unfortunately, where she's just very standoffish. And I don't know if Captain Marvel is supposed to be like that. I personally haven't read the comics, so I don't know.
I don't know.
They did
if
make
she's
her look
supposed
like
to be.
Captain Marvel, which
Okay.
with the haircut and everything. So that's faithful to
I
it.
just, it was more upsetting to just see her so
Interested.
uninterested in Earth,
Yeah.
considering with the whole movie, we established that is her home planet, And that is always supposed to be the thing with these characters. Well, this is my home planet, blah, blah, blah.
Protect your home.
Yeah, and she's just sort of like, meh.
She's also the big picture Avenger. She's the one that's like, she is a hero of the universe. It's like the Guardians of the Galaxy's just popping in for Infinity War. They at least had a stake in it because of Thanos.
And
that's
fine, but it's like Nate said, she kind of didn't work for the movie then.
Yeah.
She could have been utilized greatly in a different movie, somewhere else, somehow. I don't think this was supposed to be her movie.
She should have got a longer arc prior
Yes.
to
She
this,
basically
probably.
made more of a glorified cameo in this movie. They
that's-
were just like, okay, let's show her off because she's going to be a big part of what's going to happen next, just so people can see her.
Yeah.
And then let's bring her back to the end.
It should have been after Spider-Man, though.
Yeah.
Right. You know what? It's almost like they reversed Spider-Man with her, because with Spider-Man, we met him in Civil War the first time, but that was a great way to just get to meet him and then throw us into a movie.
Who hasn't heard of Spider-Man?
That's
so
right.
it's like
That's very true.
We don't need an introduction at this point with him. Everybody already knows Peter Parker.
It's good to have an origin story for her, but why not do it after Spider-Man and do Black Widow?
Yeah, you could argue that.
Because of what happens in the movie, or do Black Widow instead of Captain Marvel. That's what I expected the whole time, and I think that would have been a better choice.
So she should have started Phase 4.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that would have been
with her
stronger.
origin story, showing all the stuff that she went through that she has talked about in the movies before, but we've never actually seen. And we see that the Avengers are her only family, and do Captain Marvel as the beginning of the new Avengers.
Yeah.
After these ones are older and passing on the torch.
I think they made even more of a passing at that. And this is what I was telling you. I'm going to jump around because I can't help it. Do you see at the end in the funeral when they're panning to everybody?
Yeah.
And they pan in front of the house and she's standing there in the front like this?
Yeah.
That's showing like she's the lead. Like she's the big cheese at this point.
Yeah.
Like she's the next.
She shares a lot with Captain America in that he's the soldier out of time. So is she.
Yeah,
she's been
you're right.
gone for 40 some years at this point. She suddenly shows up. All she knows is, hey, I'm an Avenger, I'm the only one that this is my full-time job.
Yeah.
So it's like she'll probably just be the next captain, and she'll be Captain Marvel at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe
America.
she'll
Can we establish? I don't think anybody still has said her name, Captain Marvel. Did I miss
That's
that?
actually really strange.
Like,
that they don't
no
address her
one has said this.
Captain Marvel.
Did
they even
Did I
address
miss it?
her
Like,
as
honestly,
anything?
no. Carol.
Oh yeah, they do call her Carol.
Yeah.
That's all they call her.
Oh, Danvers. Like Captain
Danvers.
America calls her
It's
Danvers.
just
like,
weird. It's almost
what
like
do
they
you
don't
got
know.
next, Jake?
They don't want to call her Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Did you notice
I was
that?
like,
Yeah.
you're just
She's
like
Captain
looking
Marvel, but
so
they don't
much
wanna-
for
Right.
Marvel.
She's Captain Marvel,
So
but we
much
don't
for it.
we don't want to confirm it.
It's a little awkward to do that.
Yeah.
And the characters that would do that were all dead. They don't know
That's a
her
good
by
point.
the time they reappear.
Yeah.
The people that would call her that are like, to be fair, Ant-Man could have got it out somehow. He could have.
Thor should have said to her after he pulled the axe to him, what do we call you? Or just so the audience can see like them interacting and
But it's weird because no one has established
I know.
this Captain Marvel thing yet. No one.
Yeah.
Are they just never going to?
Could be. I don't know. It's kind of an awkward thing to come up. It's just be like, hey, what's your alias? When we all know your actual name anyway.
Well, Ant-Man does that with stuff, doesn't he?
Which is why I said
Scott,
Ant-Man
yeah.
was the only one that could have brought it up feasibly.
Right.
Because in the middle of the battle, he's the one that's like, here's your shield, Captain America.
Yeah.
Or like that type of thing.
Like,
He
who's
could have
that? What do
done
we
it.
call her? Or something like that.
Yeah.
I guess that would have been. Would that have been in the first?
Isn't he
one?
like
No,
idolized Captain America?
They could have also
The
gotten away with it with
Ant-Man.
Peter.
Yeah.
He's like
Yes.
Doing
real,
something.
like
Yeah.
Because Peter
starstruck
does that
with Captain
whole,
America.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't know we were using our made-up names.
Right.
Why
Yeah.
did Spider-Man? Like, there's only certain characters
He could've-
that could get away with it
Yeah.
That's
feasibly.
true.
Yeah.
Because Iron Man calls Cap, or everyone else calls him Rogers, like that type of thing. So even the only time we've heard Captain America said in a movie is, I think, Ant-Man handing him his shield and just be like, here you go, Captain America, if it wasn't his first movie. Because I think he did get a song that he's Captain America.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but...
He did. All right, what's next?
Well, after that, we get the 5 years later,
which I didn't.
Spread.
Which
That
I was
surprised me
like,
a little.
wow.
I didn't
yeah.
know we were getting a time skip.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I'm seeing like something unpredictable. Like I didn't predict. Like you could not predict this if you were, guessing about it.
I didn't think we were going to go that long in terms of time without a resolution. So I was really surprised to see a 5-year
They
time
also
skip.
pushed it like past of the real because when we're seeing these movies, they happen the same year they come out in theaters, like in their universe.
It's
but
always
now,
been really close to its release year.
yeah. And now it's like what days 2023,
Yep.
Yeah.
right? And like everybody's mostly moved on except Cap and Black Widow.
One Thor.
For
We got
oh
the
my
dude.
god, I loved that.
Well-
I loved Lebowski. I know you hate Lebowski.
Oh,
Thor. Do you
no,
do?
I've never seen
you-
it. I've never seen it.
What you?
To talk
Big
about
Lebowski?
Cap.
No, I meant like he looks like. Me neither. I've not seen a Lebowski,
Okay.
but he
Me
looks
either.
like That's what I've labeled him though.
No, yeah, he is.
He's
yeah,
Lebowski
straight
Thor.
up. I mean, to talk about Cap though, because it does cut to him at his. It's like Alcoholics Anonymous
Yeah,
for people
AA
that lost
meeting, yeah.
everyone. This is the beginning of what I feel is the closest to original Captain America we've seen since his first movie.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He's there. He's caring about other people. He's trying to tell people what would be best from this point onwards. Which also Joe Russo, one of the directors, is one of the people in the roundtable meeting, which was just neat to see. But he's telling people like, that's the next step in like mourning is we have to move on. Like, what would these people want us to do now that they're gone?
Right.
That type of thing. Like he's not just Captain America anymore. He's helping out the little people too. Like, he's hanging out with this group of like 7 people that
No, I
have been around.
think that's it though. That is what Captain America was always supposed to be. The little guy. Like,
Yes.
for the little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
because he was
'cause
the
he
little
was.
guy.
Yeah.
Also, whenever they're in the Avenger home base, there's no crime left. There's not really any. There's nothing really left. Like
That's because someone else has been taking care of it.
yeah, it's like. But then it's like he can go and do those things. He can afford
Yeah.
not to really put on the suit and be Captain
Natasha
You're
took
right.
it over for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he gets to go do, like you said, all that other, stuff.
Which really
So-
humanized him again.
Yeah.
He kind of came back from like this world that is like all Hydra and everyone is a double crossing you because of this other person and everything, and he's just back with these normal people and he's Cap again. And it's
Yeah.
really nice to see.
Yeah, I like that.
And then they talk about because we still haven't gotten to Thor yet. Because Natasha is
Oh,
she has an open communication with everyone else, trying to like keep any semblance of order with what Avengers are left.
she's the new
Right.
Fury.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
She is. Forget what her name is. The Queen's Guard at Wakanda.
Oh, I forget her name.
It's
Okoye.
OK.
Yeah, it's Okeye.
I thought it was Okoye.
It might be that. It's something.
I don't know
like
how
that.
to pronounce it though.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to
Yeah, I
pronounce
don't know.
She talks about an underwater earthquake
that's fine.
off the coast of like Africa or something.
it.
That's the closest thing to a hint at a future character that we get to in the movie.
I was surprised too.
Didn't
yeah,
realize that.
I didn't either.
Who is it?
Aquaman?
Namor.
Right?
Namor. Okay, wow, yeah.
Oh.
Or
Okay.
I guess the Submariner. I don't think that's
Yeah.
his official name, but he is like
Yeah.
coined as.
I'd love to see
Submariner.
them get into the other Marvel villains that are like mid-tier that not a whole lot of people
Right.
know about, but could still like be made a big, huge deal about.
Some interesting things about him, though. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has been in talks with Kevin Feige, right?
Feige.
Kevin Feige, to join the MCU.
Oh.
So that
Guess
could
that
be
thing
him.
at DC isn't really working out for him. He literally signed on to play Black Adam like 5 years ago. There's nothing. Nothing's
Yeah.
happened. And he's
Yeah.
like, okay, screw it. I'm getting out of here.
That's a
Like,
shame because he would be actually a good.
No,
Black
I would
Adam.
love to see him in an MCU
Yeah.
movie because I think he would kill it.
Yeah.
Namor is also considered the MCU's first mutant because his abilities are
Precursor.
he's the offspring of an Atlantean princess and a fisherman, which gives him the ability to breathe underwater
sure he's not
and walk on
Aquaman,
lakes.
right?
Sure, this isn't like
Dude, everything is they just
Did
copy
they
each other.
they
the
just
entire time.
copy-
Ask Jason Momoa to be him too while they're
The
at
difference
it?
is he can fly. But But
Right,
it doesn't,
thank you.
It doesn't come from either of his parents, which is why he's considered to be the first mutation of someone giving him an ability that he wouldn't normally
That
have.
would be really cool to like for
Yeah.
them to brand him a mutant though.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I want to see.
Yeah.
And then does Scott get out before Thor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
they,
he does.
Yeah, they're in full motion whenever they go and get Thor with the time
Right.
Yeah.
thing.
They're trying to recruit him.
Yeah.
Scott was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he
was great.
owned that
The
first half
entire
of the movie,
thing.
really.
Like-
Like he owned that
I-
first half.
I was reading through like interviews that one of like the ultimate realities that Doctor Strange saw where they lost was the mouse did not hit the button. Like that was one of them, and
Yeah,
that's
think about it. If the mouse
Yeah.
doesn't hit that button, it
doesn't, and
Yeah.
that's why like even though he does all this stuff to make sure that Tony's alive and this stuff, but like it literally all did come down to like that mouse does need to hit that button.
Yeah.
Even if I keep all of you alive, that he's got to do that.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, then it was all for nothing. Yeah.
But like him
Doctor
seeing
Strange
Cassie.
is the real MVP though. Man.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Scott seeing Cassie.
Oh, I
5 years
love
older.
that scene.
Yeah.
That scene was
Yeah.
awesome.
That was so good. He's just there. He doesn't believe it.
I didn't know
He's
who
like,
it
"Cassie?"
was.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, "Who is
Yeah.
this?" And then I'm like, "Oh wow, that's really cool."
And then, do we get Stark afterwards, or I think so. So then,
Well, no,
forget
we've
what
already.
Thor-
We gotta get Thor
You
first.
mean?
Does Thor go first?
I think we get Thor
Yeah,
before.
they go to
Okay.
grab
Yeah.
Thor.
Okay, Thor. Thor's fat. That's what I love.
Boy, Thor is weird in this movie.
Thank you.
It didn't feel in line. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
It just didn't feel in line with all the other his whole arc up until that point.
I have a lot of give and
especially
take with him.
including Ragnarok.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he was funny,
love how-
but he was still fit and accepted what had
Yeah.
happened.
Yes.
I loved how he can like switch though, like that, like at the end where he goes from being funny, go happy, Thor, and then okay, I'm ready
Yeah.
to kick ass now. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty much like
That's the amazing thing about
Yeah.
him. He goes from like, I'm drinking beer here, I'm yelling at this kid on Fortnite, immediately
thought
to
that
sitting
was
down
funny.
and just being like, you do understand it's my fault.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I'm the reason the snap happened. I didn't go for the head. And it's like, he just brings you back down. It's like, he's a joke 90% of the time, and then that 10% of the time, it bleeds through like, you don't understand. I'm depressed.
Like he's self-aware.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and when he wants to put the gauntlet on, like mid movie,
Yeah.
and then they tell him no,
Yeah.
you can't. Like you're mentally you can't handle it.
Yeah.
You know. Which I honestly
actually
wonder
would like
if
to
Thor
see
could
that.
really have handled the gauntlet as well as the Hulk did.
I think he
I
would.
think so.
He's an Asgardian.
Yeah.
So he probably
He's
could have
gone.
handled it a lot better.
I think at his peak day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
Thor,
Like-
obviously, was the whole point.
Yeah.
He couldn't.
But I'll
But
tell you what, though, when you see Thor in his armor and the stuff at the end of the movie, that is the most comically accurate representation
Dude, it's
of
not because he's
Thor.
fat.
yeah.
No, it covers it up, though. Yeah, it does, though.
Actually, no. I am fine with his design at the end.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
braid his beard.
I
He
did like
looks
that.
like a Viking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the whole.
okay.
And that's
No,
what
that was
he, you put the helmet on him, and that is him.
I just
that's
thought
what
it
he
was funny
looks
that he
like.
was fat.
Yeah, I could give or take the fat, and they could have written it off like, I can't get fat. I'm an Asgardian. It's like, I'm
That was
God.
a big
Like,
risk, honestly, with that movie, and
the
it
fat
paid
suit.
off. It paid off,
Yeah.
though. Dividends, I think.
Yeah, it's just some of him
I
is
love
give or
seeing
take,
Korg.
but
Korg on the sofa. He's
Oh,
like,
he was
he's like,
awesome.
come on, boys. Oh, okay.
Oh, he
I'm
was
like, I love
great.
that. That whole little shtick he does. I laugh hysterically at it. I don't know. He's saying like simple stuff, and I'm laughing at it.
Yeah.
hey man,
Like,
Kind of like a weird,
Hey, man,
like
what's
stoner
up?
college guy.
Hey, man,
It's
you
quite
got
literally
sense.
stoner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, we don't
Oh, I
say
get
that
it.
here. It's like,
hey man, you want some beer? That's great.
Richard, do you
Roll
want to say
good
something
to you,
about Thor?
No, I wasn't happy with how they handled him the whole movie.
Yeah. He was like a punchline.
Thor.
Yeah,
Thor,
that's
yeah,
he.
yeah,
he
yeah.
was just a punchline, and I felt like we had built him up to be something so much more, but could still be humorous. And I feel like they kind of threw that away.
Yeah.
I wore a
Yeah.
Thor shirt to the movie and everything, and by the end of it, I was kind of like, I just kind of want to put my hoodie back on. I don't have this now. I should have wore Iron Man. I didn't have an Iron Man shirt though. Couldn't find one in
this
time.
was Iron Man's movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Jeez.
was.
TBH.
I don't know.
I think
Yes,
it's a
it is Iron
combination.
Man's movie, but
This
holy
is-
shit, Cap.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll
We'll
agree
get
to
there.
split it 50-50 with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
Cap
then
was great
we'll-
in this.
I do think that means we will still see Hulk in the MCU. He will be like the Professor, like Professor Hulk. Which
Okay, so
think
I
is
have a
next.
question that I
But-
will voice now, but you can't answer it till after. Who do you think will be the leader of the new Avengers? Who will be in the new Avengers?
Okay, who will be
So-
in the new Avengers?
Yes.
Okay.
Who's the leader, and then
All right.
Like, what's the role, you mean?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, just
Who's in it?
whatever. Yeah.
But so Professor Hulk is a thing now, which brings up its
Yeah.
own questions because you mentioned like what happened to the Hulk?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
He dead?
Hey, Deborah.
he doesn't really exist anymore. We have
No.
Bruce Banner in a new
Agree.
body,
In
as
Hulk's
opposed to
body.
before. They were always kind of like two characters that shared a body. I don't think Hulk is there anymore.
I don't think so either.
I-
Because he kind of reconciled that whole part of himself, it seems like.
I feel that if Hulk was still there, just to jump forward for a second, then whenever Bruce Banner was going to get the Mind Stone and the Ancient One knocks him out of the body, I think he would have shown up.
Oh, I thought
And
the Hulk
he's-
was about to go like
Yes.
just
Yeah.
ham wild at that point.
Right, and he didn't. It was just Bruce Banner that came out of the body. So, like, I don't think we have the actual Hulk
Anymore.
I don't
anymore.
think so either.
I am a fan of Professor Hulk, though. I like the
Yeah.
difference. I think it's the ultimate evolution of the character.
But he was a failure as a scientist, though, when he was doing the calculations and stuff. That's the only thing that threw me off a little. when he
Within
was doing the
5
time
years, he
stuff.
must have figured it out, though.
That's
He said it took him 18 months with a bunch of gamma, like, and all that, but he did perfect it, and this is
True.
where he's at now as a person.
Overall, I think I liked it. I mean,
Okay.
it was something different because
Yeah.
how many times can you even though I like
I
seeing
still
the
like
Hulk
Hulk
smash.
smash.
I do
Yeah.
like Hulk, yeah.
It was interesting, though, to see him finally kind of, like, at peace with himself, because
Yeah.
this was a character who always...
Conclusion
Like-
to his arc.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a character who was always, like, embarrassed of what he was, and
Yeah.
it was just kind of odd, actually, to watch him be, like, embracing it.
So confident, and the kids come
Yeah.
up and
Yeah,
he's like,
he's
hey, yeah,
confident
Hulk
and-
smash, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, I love
Yeah,
that.
it was,
That was funny.
odd. It was like not watching the same
I love
character.
when they go back to New York and they're like, you might want to smash some stuff just to like look the part. And he goes, I think this is grotesque. And he just is like hitting it. And he's like, I was laughing so
Gratuitous.
hard. Yeah,
I think
gratuitous.
this is gratuitous.
Gratuitous.
Yes, I enjoyed that. Next.
Who you got?
So that's after Scott comes back and says, hey, we can fix this by doing the time loop and all that. So then they go talk to Tony,
My man,
who now has a child called Morgan
Wow.
Stark.
who is adorable,
And
and
she-
I
yeah.
do not like children. Let me fully
Great.
I would kill
disclaim
for that
that.
child.
Yes.
I'm like, you're aware that most children don't act like that all the time.
Oh, yes.
You know, like
I know.
perfectly.
I would
like,
kill for Morgan Stark. I would not kill for another child.
Yeah, like she's. I like it goes Naguna, and I'm like he sits down on a log and she comes out of the tent. I was like, that's awesome. I love that whole.
Oh, she comes out with the Iron Man helmet on?
Yeah.
I really
Yes.
like that.
The
Pretty
rescue helmet
And-
on.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
And it just
Yeah,
might have been me. I didn't see the child thing coming at all. So for like about 10 seconds when he's walking to the tent, I'm like, what are we doing here?
what I thought, too.
And then I'm like, is this like a dog? What are we doing? Have you tamed a wolf? And then a child comes out. I'm like, that's a lot more
I thought he was
plausible.
going to pull up
Okay.
Wilson, the volleyball.
Yes.
But it's like it shows that he's fully like I'm done. I'm not Iron Man.
Yeah.
He's moved
Yeah.
on. I'm moved on.
Yes.
And he
Which
looks
he was
way
very lucky,
older,
too.
doesn't he? He looks like
Oh, yeah.
old.
Yeah.
Like he looks like a very not
I mean,
very
when you
old, but
almost
like
die in
middle age,
space,
middle
that
age
ages
Tony
you.
Stark. You know,
Yeah.
Well, he only saw everyone he was working with die,
die
in front
like
of him.
especially
And
No.
then,
his surrogate son.
No,
died.
I know, because he pulls that picture.
Oh yeah. It
wonder what
makes
he's
you think
doing.
he's looking at that picture of his dad, but he's
Yes.
not.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I can't wait till we get to that part.
I know. There's so much in
That
this
part was
movie.
good.
I know.
yeah. Okay, Cap and Tony do make up. I actually really liked it. A lot of people did not online, but I liked how
What scene
simple
were you
it was.
talking about? Were you?
Tony shows up at the compound.
Yes.
He's like,
yes.
hey,
That whole
I
thing.
really
yeah.
like
yeah,
that.
and he's like, so let me guess, he changed age. And then Cap's just like, yeah, and I know someone told us about that. And he's like, yeah, well, you didn't know the answer. I do. And like, I'm here for it. And then he like walks up and he's like, you know, what was it? It's like, he says something really good too. He's like, I can't remember.
Summarize. Use
But
other words.
he says that like anger really just tears him down and that he doesn't
Yeah.
like it anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And they kind of agree to disagree, but then they're there for the bigger picture.
Well, not only that, he then opens the trunk of his car
And hands him the shield.
My
dad made this for you.
Yeah,
So you should have it.
This is yours.
That was
And if I keep
so
it,
cool.
Morgan's gonna take it sledding. And I was like,
Yes.
this child. But however, real quick, because I know I talked to you about this, I did not care for the fact that they went to Tony's house and said, "Hey, time travel," and Tony was like, "No." And then next scene, I solved it. I can time travel. And then goes to the compound and is like time travel. I think we needed to have like something.
Like a montage, just to
in
break
between.
it up.
Yeah.
I actually needed to watch them fail for a while, I think, and then cut to Tony solving it.
Yeah, where it seems
And
like they failed like 20 minutes earlier, and then
Yeah.
Tony just shows up a little too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
That's all. I felt like that was... We had a 3-hour movie, and yet that felt kind of rushed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of everything, though.
Right.
Jeez. Natasha does get Clint back.
Pretty easily.
Ronan.
Yeah.
Pretty easily, don't you think?
That
To
was
be
another...
fair,
But that was
they're
another
best
thing I
friends,
felt
I guess.
rushed.
Yeah.
Is like, we had kind of...
You see how
There are
like,
a lot of parts that feel rushed.
but as soon
Yeah.
as he's like, don't give me hope, but then he looks at her, and then they pan back and forth between the two.
Yeah.
Then he's like, okay, I'm giving this a shot. Let's do it. But yeah, they don't. Yeah,
It's
you're
just because they trust each
yeah,
other
it's
so
pretty
much.
much like that's literally like his sibling. Literally,
Yeah.
that's his sister. In other words.
But that was just the thing. It's just like we had this whole Ronin arc and all that, and like it was like they were taking care of it in the first like third to like 2/3 of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, and I just
It seemed a little out of character for him,
It
too, to just be
did.
like, it's Hawkeye, and like, yeah, his family died, but how does that give him the motivation to go and kill everyone that's evil?
Well,
I
he
guess?
said-
Because there's nothing left. I
His-
think that's where they were going with
He's the only
that.
person that can do it.
Yeah.
and that is what he says and everything. It's just like you get the only other mention you really get leading up to this Ronin thing is whenever they're talking. Natasha's talking to the holograms of everybody like Skyping in, and they're talking about the cartel being
Yeah.
murdered and all that, and just like it's Clint, and it's like, but then all of a sudden it's like Ronin, and he's not Ronin anymore, and we're moving on, and I'm like, I want it like. I feel like we could have handled that slightly different.
We needed a John Wick movie somewhere in between.
Oh,
Yeah.
He was just taking on
That
all
looked
of the
pretty
bad
good.
people.
Yeah, man.
After that, we pretty much go to the callbacks to the other movies. So we can start with Avengers. And the fact that they show up towards the end of the fight and in the middle of the fight. First thing that really happens is Hulk goes and meets the Ancient One, which is fucking amazing.
Yes.
That was one of my
I did
favorite
not
scenes.
expect that.
No.
That was a good scene.
I love that she's kind of defending the Sanctum during the battle as well. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's like more than one people were affected, even if you only saw this part. Like, this part
Yeah.
was doing it too.
Yeah.
I love that he asked for Doctor Strange, and it wasn't anything like she didn't know who it was or that he
Yes.
was. She
She already
knew.
knew.
She was like, "You're like how many years
5
too
years.
early?"
Yeah.
Yeah. He's over there performing surgery,
And then yeah.
So there was a whole thing about why she couldn't see so far in the future. Why she could only see 5 years.
Because it was the day of her death.
Yes. And I agree with that. You
Yes.
know, there were a lot of people like, that's loophole. I'm like, actually not really, because she dies.
Right.
So how can you see past your own death if you're not technically there to
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
anymore?
She was able to without the aid of the Time Stone. She never used it. Doctor Strange is able to because he uses the Time Stone. That
Okay.
allows you to see past
That
his
makes
own
sense.
death. Otherwise,
Okay.
he wouldn't have seen past his dusting
Okay.
to see the other possible
And,
futures.
and that makes sense why she couldn't see past a certain point, because she didn't use it. To see
Yes.
the future.
I do love, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do love whenever, like, Banner's there and he's like, hey, I just need the stone. I promise. I'll bring it right back. And then she's just like, no, you don't understand. This does not leave. And then he's like, okay, but,
Yes.
and then says something about, like, but Doctor Strange gave it to Thanos. And then she just stops and she's like, he's the best of us. Here, take it. Like,
Yeah, like
If he did that, it's for a reason.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I love it because even in that point in the time, Doctor Strange didn't exist.
Yeah.
And he was already such a badass.
Yes.
Yes.
in the future.
Oh, I actually love she's like, you're a couple years too early, but if you would like to see him, he's giving surgery about 37 blocks that way.
Right.
Loki is pretty good during the whole thing. We see a couple, like, I guess, behind the scenes things, like how he gets that mouth brace on him because
Yeah,
he's just
funny.
being a smartass. We see him turn into Cap once, which is
Yeah.
a precursor to the Dark World whenever he
when
already knows
does-
how to do
yep.
Yep.
it. He also gets away with the Tesseract, so there's that.
Hulk has to take the stairs.
Yes.
Oh, that was good.
I love everyone's. I was like, whoa, no, stairs. Love it. The other Cap, the Cap versus Cap, which was great.
That was a great fight.
That was.
That was.
I love how he goes, "You got to be shitting me." I'm
Yep.
like, that. He's what? Like everybody was swearing. Like
I
in this
know.
movie.
There's a
like,
language.
Yeah.
In the movie.
Yep.
Not only that,
Especially
no.
for
Oh,
him.
how about seeing? This was the most unexpected cameo
elevator?
to me. No, was well. Actually, I'm gonna nit that right after this. Mm-hmm. Seeing Robert Redford.
Yes,
I was like,
dude.
whoa! I was
Not only
like,
that,
I did not
Crossbones coming
think.
back.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, just because I think he's so old.
Yeah,
Like Robert Redford, he's like almost 90 now, and they were like bringing him back into this movie. Like, you know, how many years has it been since Winter Soldier?
bad guy in Winter Soldier.
5 years?
Yeah,
What was
he's
that,
like
5
the
years?
older guy. And,
Is that
yeah.
5 years since Winter
I
Soldier?
think so.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's
but
been a while.
It's like
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, they got him to do this because
Yeah.
usually he's like real picky about what he does, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
You see
that's
all these-
awesome. I love
Money
seeing
speaks.
that.
Yes,
And I'm
it
like,
does.
I loved seeing that though, like
Yeah.
just seeing him and Tony Stark interact because they're
Yeah.
like, okay, I would love to see an interaction between these two, and I finally get to see it, and then you know,
You see
fake-
Crossbones come back too, and it's all these people you
That
know will be a problem next
fucking-
time.
Yeah.
that moment, I'm like, oh, we're gonna see the elevator scene
Yeah,
again,
it's
and
like
then he
it happens
goes,
a couple years too early.
and then he goes
Yep.
like, you know, Hail Hydra. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, that was
Biggest
the
fucking
coolest.
surprise for me. I was like, I really thought that he was going to be again, like, just like, if anyone would like to get out before we start, like that type of
Yes.
thing.
I still would have liked that.
Yeah,
I
I would
would've
have liked
too.
that too.
Think
Hail
about
Hydra,
all those
10 times better
soldiers'
to me.
minds, though, at that point.
Yeah, they're all
like
just like-
Captain America's and Hydra. Holy shit!
And then he
it's
just
like,
takes it, walks out,
he's like,
smirks
"Ha."
to himself. He's just like, yeah, that's right.
Well, he's like, well, I can kick these guys' asses, but I already know I can win. So it's like, let's try something else where I don't have to fight.
Yep.
And but yeah, that leads to the Cap fight.
And then he
where
kicks his
fights-
own butt. Mm.
Yeah.
And he goes, "That's America's ass." And I was
Yes.
like, and everybody in the theater laughed.
Just
at
looking
that.
at, huh,
Of course.
Yeah.
that is America's ass. I love it.
But
And then I had the ancient one on here again. And then Thor and Rocket go to the Dark World, which actually adds a bit of rewatchability back to that movie.
Yeah.
Retroactively.
yeah,
Which
I
is
wonder
really
if they
nice.
did that on purpose, almost to a
possibly.
degree.
Almost not on purpose though, because that's where the ether was.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
But,
it,
like,
it might have just been a
honestly,
happy
though-
coincidence.
Breaking all of these movies down, that's might be the most unwatchable. Not unwatchable. How do I say this?
Unenjoyable,
What am I
forgettable.
looking
Something along those
Least-
Well,
lines.
you don't want to
for? It's on the
rewatch it.
it's on the top tip of my tongue.
Garbage.
Not
We're
garbage.
just throwing words out there.
Bottom ranked.
Boring.
Not the greatest MCU film. Not even close. Like it is probably down at the very bottom of the barrel.
If
in
you-
my-
if
I mean,
saw
garbage,
any
you could have
lists.
just used that.
but
If you
it's-
see any lists, yeah, it's at the bottom.
Yes.
Sometimes garbage is at the top of the
I
can.
even
That's
enjoy.
what's not.
The reason
wasn't
why I say
enjoyable
this though
garbage.
is I just watched the first two Iron Man movies again.
Yeah.
I like Iron Man 2. Okay, I can
Thank
say
you.
it. I like it.
It's a really good
do.
MCU
It
movie.
is. It actually is. Like,
Yep.
now you like Justin Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Justin Hammer as much, but I'm going to tell you the reason why. I don't like anything that he does with Mickey Rourke in that movie. When they're together in a scene, I can't watch it. I will skip it.
Yeah.
Like literally, I can't watch those parts. If I can get anything with anybody else on screen, I will take that. Even if Justin Hammer's on the screen, I'll watch that. But those two together, I hate it.
yeah.
I hate it.
I
That's
see
like
that.
that's the worst shit. Anyway, yeah, that back to the ether.
Best part about that was Thor speaking with his mother.
Yes,
Yeah.
It
that
was something
was-
he needed. And I like how aware she is, because at the end he's like, wait, no, I have to warn you. And then she's just like, no, my future is my own.
Yeah.
And like that
She
type of
knows
thing.
she's gonna-
Yeah, she knows something's going to
Yeah.
happen. That's the reason he's so happy to see her and all that. I love that she knows immediately, like, that this is her son, just not from now.
I like that.
Because
Yeah.
she's like, didn't she say she's the wisest person in Asgard?
But she
Like
was the witch.
is. Yeah, she
Yes.
was the witch. She
That's
knows
right, yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
You know.
And that was all great.
Ooh,
Everything
how
else
about-
she said was
okay.
great.
And I love that he summons
Yes.
Mjolnir one more
I love
time.
seeing
Yeah.
Mjolnir. And then he takes Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Let's
From another.
what if that
another
Thor
fast.
needs it? Where's he gonna
Right.
get
He
us
doesn't
through?
need
Right now, it's
need
Dark
that.
World.
It's time travel shit doesn't matter.
It's
It doesn't
Dark
matter. Let's just take shit. But
Yeah.
anyway.
I love him summoning it. He grabs it and he's like, "I'm still worthy," and then just leaves.
Yep.
Okay.
Which comes back later on in the movie.
minor thing here. But should we have seen Odin? Or doesn't really anybody care?
It doesn't really matter. I don't
Yeah.
think it
I
would
don't-
really affect it.
I think he
was-
had. Sorry, go ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I was going to
Right.
say he seemed
Just
more
watched this
emotionally
movie.
attached
Where
to
was
his mom
Odin?
because of
Yeah,
what
because
happened.
he was such a big,
Yeah.
like, he's such a very powerful presence in
Yeah.
the MC, like, in Marvel, period, and he's not in this movie.
I think it's because we wrapped him up so well in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
hit,
like
whereas
he-
Thor's mom,
he passes-
we
yeah.
didn't.
There wasn't
'cause-
closure there.
There wasn't.
There wasn't
Yeah.
a point.
Yeah.
Right. But
So,
I think
what
if
was
you brought
next?
him in, it
They-
would kind of break it a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because they wanted to focus on the
Yeah.
relationship between him and
Is this,
his mom.
are we on Vormir, or are we...
I was doing 1970s next.
we can do that. I mean, it's kind of out of order, but I'd rather...
Is it?
Vormir is kind of short.
Yeah, it's...
See,
we
I-
can do Vormir. I think that's before.
I love
Yeah.
that people that came from Infinity War, they already knew what was going to happen before it happened. The only people that knew the cost of the Soul Stone was Thanos and Gamora,
Yeah.
and only one of them left that planet. So, it's like they're making jokes the entire time, Natasha and Clint, on the way to Vormir, and the audience is there just like, one of you ain't gonna make it. Like
Right.
that's the point of the Soul Stone. So it's just like the entire time leading up to that, it's like, what do you do?
It makes the audience, like, literally just they're in, like,
What is that?
stressful suspense
Isn't that
because
like,
they know
um,
one of them's going to go.
irony?
They just don't know which one. I honestly thought it was going to be him.
I did too.
I did not
it
think
would have
it
made
was...
sense for him to go.
It would
Well, that and she's going to get her movie,
I thought for like
Yeah.
you know?
a bit of that scene, I really thought that we were actually going to get like a little bit of a fake out because Red Skull specifically says like you have to pay with what you love most, and I was like, well, he's already lost what he loves most. Do we just like retroactively by default get this? And then it didn't happen. But I thought it was kind of odd then that it was those two, because then it's like, can you just bring anybody that you love, or does it have to be who you love most? And
That's
does
where I
that...
picked Cap to die. And I was completely 100% wrong because I was thinking,
Yeah.
okay, he's going to meet the Red Skull again.
Yeah.
That would've
And
been a
it
good
doesn't.
throwback.
It would have been a neat throwback, but then I'm like, okay, well,
Technically, he would have met the Red Skull. We just never saw it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which a lot of people were kind of
Yep.
upset about.
I thought that should have been the end credit scene. I thought they should have had one, and that should have been it, is him meeting Red Skull again.
That would have been neat.
Just to have something
Yeah.
there.
It would have been too short for the end credits, though.
I know.
how about this?
We need a good
It could've been like a
10-minute
good one-liner
conversation.
there.
Did you see when Chris Evans, like after Infinity War was already like just came out on Blu-ray, and he types this thing in October on Twitter, goes, "Oh guys, I'm done as Captain America. My contract's up. I'm done." Then the Russos were like, "No, you're not done yet. Not really." And then, you know, I'm thinking, okay, that just means Endgame, because then Endgame's not on his contract. This was just an added thing
Okay.
where he did it to wrap it up, which kind of depresses me because then I'm thinking, oh, what if we get a Captain America movie? It's in like the 50s or 60s or something when he goes back in time and he's living as Captain America in a, you know, where he should have been.
You know, I actually, when we get to the final scene, I actually have quite a bit, because I was reading about that, because that's a bit odd of how they had that final scene.
Yeah.
I think I'll wait
I've-
till we get there, though.
Yeah, we had a lot of ideas on how it could have been better.
Not even better. I just read a lot about what the directors had to say about it, and
Oh, okay.
it's very
Vague.
odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean like the direction they took and why they took it?
yeah.
Okay, I thought it was odd too.
Yeah.
The fight between Natasha and
Clint.
for who would die was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Was.
almost killed each other before they even got there.
Yep.
And then they wouldn't have got the stone at all.
I love the talk and all that because they were cracking jokes with Red Skull not even 15 seconds prior.
Yeah.
And it flips on a dime and it happened
Yep.
really well. Like in terms of other things that are like really rushed in this movie, that should by all means have been rushed. But no, it goes from comedic to we know what needs to happen here
But it was
immediately.
the exact opposite of Thanos with Gamora, because Thanos dragged Gamora to the edge, kicking and screaming to not die. And this was the opposite of these are two people who do love each other. Not love, but, you know, like
You
a
can tell they love
sibling
each other because they don't want the other to die.
Exactly,
Right.
and it was a desperate fight to make the other one stay. It was such a
It's-
mirror
yeah,
of what. It
it-
was real nice.
It's like the two different ways that it could happen, and we
Yeah.
saw both ways.
Why don't you just throw Red Skull down there?
No one loves Red Skull.
Yeah, that's true.
Red
Not
Skull
even
doesn't even love Red Skull.
Oh,
He can't.
No.
Wow.
that's true.
After that, we do go to the 1970s with
Which
Cap and Tony.
I love this part of the movie. man.
Yeah.
That was a really good part at the end of this whole
Yeah,
storyline here.
Yeah.
that to me was the best time travel scenario they did. That
Yeah.
was the best one.
He meets his dad. Let's
Yeah,
just say
that
It's
was
not being on
like
the-
that was something he didn't get to do. The
Yeah.
whole like all this time he talks about his dad.
That was the thing in
You
Civil
know,
War.
Yeah,
He was like, I created this technology to say bye to my father. It didn't help. And then he gets to.
But it's just terrible though, because it's just it kind of sets up though for this whole Stark children not getting to meet or really know their parents.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know.
Unnecessary evil for the lineage.
that whole conversation that they have, and he goes, "Oh, you forget your briefcase, Potts," and then it's like that's the Infinity Stones in there, and he's so starstruck because he saw his dad, and then they talk the whole way there,
Yeah.
and they're just like, then he realizes his dad's not really like a scummy, slimy person that he knew,
Yeah.
that he visualized when he was a kid.
He felt
Yeah.
the exact same way he did. He's just like, yeah, like, my wife's pregnant, and I don't think I'm ready for it. And he's like, oh, well, and then, like, Tony's like, well, I have a kid, and you're never really ready. Like, that type of thing. Like, he's
Yeah.
telling his dad
But
it's okay.
But I like the way he delivers some of the lines because it's not just like, oh, well, I have a kid. He's like, I have a daughter. Like, it's
Yeah.
so important for Tony to
Yeah.
let his dad know, like, I'm doing okay. Like,
it's like, hey, Dad, I made it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think the delivery has a lot to do with that, as opposed to just, like, because he could have nonchalantly tried to, like, play it cool. Like, and I know he tried to play it cool, but, like, of just like, oh, yeah, I have a kid. But, like, no, he just blurts out this stuff of just, like, I have a daughter. Like, and I
Yeah.
need you to know this.
Yeah.
Even though you don't know what it means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's unknowingly telling him about his granddaughter.
Yeah.
And he gave him a hug. And I almost cried.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
was
yeah,
so
that was tough.
That was great.
That
Did you
was
see
real
Jarvis the butler?
yeah.
Yes.
Really cool.
I didn't expect that at all. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
No,
but
that
I
was
did
pretty
not expect
cool.
It.
I didn't either.
First actor to ever go from TV to movie.
Yeah.
Not vice
Oh.
versa. Because he was the original Jarvis actor in Agent Carter.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
It's the first season.
Okay.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, the Russo brothers worked on it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Second
Makes
season's
sense.
crap.
Yeah.
They cut the budget
That's sad.
literally in half, so it is what it is.
So,
Oh, Cap sees Peggy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was
That was
And that-
heartbreaking.
yeah.
Yeah.
It really was.
Right? If you're seeing that, and like, but here's the thing: when you're seeing that the first time, you're not even thinking of it.
Right.
Even though, like, you're subjectively, you're like, okay, now I can see what planted the seeds
Yeah.
for what he does at the last part of the movie. Because he loves her, he misses her, and that's the life that he always wanted to have was with her. And that yeah, you're right. That whole season is, or not season. God, that whole scene is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing when he looks at the door and this is Margaret Carter, and he's like all, broken up about it.
And I was going to say real quick, and it's interesting too, because it just, that whole going back to that time is real interesting, and it shows the difference between Tony and Steve, because granted, Tony kind of got cornered by his dad and, like, forced into a conversation, but he, like, keeps willingly engaging, whereas, like, Rogers stays back.
He's running from it.
Yeah.
Whereas Tony wants the closure,
Yeah.
Cap is actively not going for it.
Yeah.
And he actually mentions at the beginning of the movie, whenever he's in that group, he talks about how he met the love of his life months before going under, and he never saw her again. So it's like, and that's why he was running the meeting for all those people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all goes towards the end anyway, which we'll get to after the big fight, which is all of Act 3. So
That was a long fight.
Oh, how
It
about,
was.
I guess, well, how about like when Nebula gets kidnapped and Thanos figures out they're
How did
hunting
we
for
go
the
this whole
stones?
time without bringing up Nebula when she's been in the movie? She's in the
Right.
movie for
Honestly,
45 minutes.
She played a lot bigger role than I expected.
did.
Great.
Yeah.
She did
No,
really
she
well.
was really a hero and the secondary villain,
Yeah.
really, of the movie. But it's so crazy because you're like, okay, how is Thanos going to be connected to this? Because
Yes.
you know he has to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you see, like, her kind of like fool the Avengers and everything, brings Thanos there, and this will lead into Jake's third act.
That was actually the best way they probably could have done it, though.
Yeah, they really couldn't have done it a better way.
Thanos into it
Yeah, and
through
he's
the use of Nebula.
yeah, he's stronger. Like he's
Yeah.
in his prime. Like physically,
yeah.
he is in his
got his big
prime.
sword
Yeah,
thing.
he's ready to go. Like
And I like that take on the whole time travel thing of having Nebula in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, we were getting away with the scot-free.
Yeah.
Like, and that was you knew it was too good to be true, and it just sort of kept going. But it was like, how? What is going to be the mess up? And it's unfortunate that it's one of those things that they could have prevented by never sending Nebula.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
they didn't know.
They didn't know.
That she's going to project her, memories from the future.
that
Right.
it wouldn't
Future
have
self.
gotten
Nobody knew.
Gamora back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Gamora felt really weird in this movie.
Well, to be
It
fair,
makes
it
sense
wasn't
why.
Gamora.
No, I
Yeah.
get why.
Yeah, it was
but it just felt
it was the
odd.
first
Yeah.
Guardians, Gamora, before she met
Yeah.
the Guardians. So she's like,
It's
you
going to
know,
feel redundant in Guardians 3,
Yeah.
a bit.
And she hits him in the nuts.
Oh, you mean as Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh.
Hold back. Hold back.
I'm trying. You gotta like.
Well, we're at
get
the
to
big fight.
Get to the fight.
We're at least
Okay.
at the fight 50 minutes into this. We got
So
there.
he just shows up and blows the fuck up everything.
Right
about
after they
Ant-Man?
snapped everybody back.
How about
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
Like,
Ant-Man
we
was dead
did not
right there. I
even
thought
get to
Wow was
celebrate
dead.
that,
No.
and shit goes down.
I love that the snap happens and then Cap's phone just starts going off. He looks at it, everything blows up.
Yeah.
You mean Hawkeye?
No, Hawkeye's
Guys,
phone.
yeah,
Yes.
because of his wife.
This
How
was
about
what-
Hulk's arm? It's
Yes.
like, look what that did. It looks like a normal
Right.
human's arm.
Yeah,
I
it gets
was a
smaller
little
and everything.
Yeah.
confused. Granted, I've never wielded all the Infinity Stones, and so like I don't know what kind of pain Hulk was in, but I felt like he took his good old time to get to that snap.
Yeah, he did.
I really felt like that should have happened a lot quicker than like we're just gonna keep seeing how this goes.
It was
It's
dramatic.
spreading.
It was a dramatic snap.
I get it, but at the same time, he took his
Yeah.
good old time.
Yeah. Do you see how
Whereas
Tony,
somebody
Tony
else-
walked the base down?
Yeah.
Because they didn't know what was
Yeah.
going to happen. Like they didn't know
Barn
if
door
everybody's going to
protocol.
die. Yeah.
Yeah. Which that calls back to Cap's actually creation in that Bruce has the glove on and he's in a lot of pain and everyone's like, okay, let's get it off of him because it hurts too much. And then Cap stops everyone. He's like, no, Bruce, are you okay?
Yeah.
And then Bruce is like, no, I got it. And then does the snap. That's what Cap had to go through whenever he was created in the first place. Because he was going through so much pain, but
And they were like, stop it. And he
Yep.
said, no, I can do this.
yep, he got through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the big fight.
The Avengers base is destroyed.
I love that. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Just a little. I feel like that's a weekend project.
For
I love that.
yeah. Cool, man.
So much happens. Like
Okay, what do
so
you want to
quickly.
start with? Like,
Well, Thanos comes down.
He's
He
just
doesn't
sitting
unleash
there.
his army yet.
no, he's just
No.
like, bring me the stones.
What I love about this is I don't know if he talks about it now, but Thanos now says after seeing how he dies in the future, even after succeeding, and how they still come back and interfere, he talks about how I'm gonna get the stones again, but this time I'm gonna erase everything and start over as the god of a grateful universe.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's what the next thing is. And that actually I love young Thanos so much. He could have been throwaway because it's just like, oh look, it's Thanos again. You know, it's same old guy. In Infinity War, he's a messiah. Where
Yeah.
he's like, no, I'm going to happen. All of you people are just kind of bumps
I
in the
am
road.
Inevitable.
Yes, but he does it himself. He doesn't bring down the army. He doesn't do anything like that. He doesn't, like, even with Wanda, whenever Wanda destroys Vision Stone and all that, he's like patting her on the back and is like, I understand. I've sacrificed things too to get this far. And then snaps and then disappears. In this one, he's straight up like, it's personal now. I don't care. I'm going to murder every single one of you. And then brings down his army. So it's like, it's the difference between old Thanos that knows he needs to do it himself and that he will happen, and young Thanos that saw he failed and now he has to do everything to make sure it works.
I kind of like the Thanos from Infinity War a little bit better.
Yes.
I do
Only
too.
because he was more of a sympathetic character. You're like, well, this is his destiny.
You
He's
almost
just
couldn't-
doing what he has to do.
That Thanos was the type of like where you're like, he's not wrong.
You couldn't
Right.
tell him no
Yeah.
because it's like, you're right.
Yeah.
Just stop it.
Just maybe
Just
not
don't.
me. Like
Whereas-
that's pretty much yeah.
And
it
then
was
young
really cool
Thanos
seeing
is
the difference.
yeah, young Thanos is just a radical that's there to
Yeah.
like just end everything. It's like, no,
He's
you
like
know
a
what? Start
warmonger.
over. Yeah. So I really liked the difference between the two because I thought young Thanos was going to throw away the movie and he was just going to be the conflict. That's it. But I like the difference.
So everybody's buried under the rock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except Iron Man, Cap, and Thor.
I know.
The 3 original Avengers. And then, like, I love how, you know, Cap's, like, already, like, has all this soot and all over him. And then, you know, Iron Man picks him up and he has the shield again. He goes, look, if you lose this again, I'm keeping it.
Yeah.
And he gives it to him. And then Thor's already standing there, staring right at him. And then he goes, you know, they're like, he hasn't moved. And they're like, let's kill him properly this time. And Thor grabs both Stormbreaker and Mjolnir. He's freaking ready for this fight. Like, I'm going to kill you. You have no idea. But then I'm thinking, I don't know if you guys thought about this, but I did the second time I saw it. Where I'm like, now wait just a minute here. In Infinity War, Thor with Stormbreaker alone destroys the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, just overpowers the Infinity Gauntlet right into Thanos. This movie, not really. But then I think we kind of just touched on that, where this is a younger Thanos. He's ready.
He's younger. He's more powerful because Nebula actually says it's either Nebula or Gamora in Infinity War. It's like Thanos is different. At least he's not like heyday Thanos. Yeah. Like war general Thanos. He'd kill everyone.
And that's what we got here.
That's what we got.
So it takes, and it's Iron Man, Cap, and Thor against
him. And Thor
him.
is weaker
I was
because
going
he's
to say,
fat.
Fat Thor.
Yeah, Thor's
not as
his
strong as fit
prime.
Thor. But it takes all 3 of them. They still can't really beat him.
It does feel like they dumbed down Thor a little bit for that fight.
They kind of had to, though.
Yeah, Thor was like in Thor in Infinity War was literally the most powerful person that we know of.
Yeah,
you know,
at that time.
But you know, I get that, and we discussed that really in the last podcast, where it's like, what are they going to do with Thor? Like, he's so powerful. Yeah. It's like, what do we do?
I was going to say, we're going to make him fat
Let's and play Fortnite.
Play Fortnite.
You nerf him.
I feel personally attacked by this movie.
But like, the best part is like about that fight is they're all working perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, each experience in the past Avengers movies they've had, like, he goes, Thor, light me up, and it's Iron Man, like, like in the first Avengers, where he, like, blasts Thor with everything.
I actually saw someone break that down. In the second Iron Man, he gets attacked by Whiplash, which electrifies his suit and causes intense damage.
Yeah.
He actually fixes that for Avengers. He's struck by Thor's electricity in Avengers, and his power jumps up to, like, 400%. Because he fixed from Whiplash's attack, he can now absorb electricity. Okay. And in this one, he has it where he can absorb electricity, but push it out as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Cap picks up
Mjolnir. I do love how they did that, though, because you just see Mjolnir go flying across the screen, and you're like, okay, we're cutting back to Thor, and then you don't.
Nope.
Because it's Cap.
And worthy.
And everything.
He's worthy. But Cap's worthy.
That kind of hints at the end of his arc as well.
Yeah.
Because he's finally worthy to wield it as well.
I would like to know what made him think to try to summon it.
He didn't have a choice.
Yeah, Thor was going to die.
I mean,
Thanos was literally about to kill Thor with Stormbreaker.
Right, but it was just kind of an interesting thing because, like, I don't know, I would never stand there and be like, hold out my hand, come here, hammer that I know won't come to me. Oh, wait a second. Like,
a lot of people talked about this. This is actually my favorite, like, discussion point of the movie after everything was said and done. People say he's been worthy since Age of Ultron.
Oh.
Because do you remember whenever everyone was getting together, having drinks and everything, and then Thor puts the thing on the hammer on the coffee table and is like, oh, you know, I'm worthy and all that, and then, like, everyone tries picking it up, and then Cap goes and moves it a little bit, and then kind of lets it go and everything.
And Thor's
he's like, Cap can't get drunk, so he was completely, like, there, so he gave it a pull, and then as soon as he realized it was gonna, like, give, he kind of just, like, dropped it.
Oh, okay.
To not embarrass Thor.
That's an interesting way to write that in, then. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and that also goes with Thor being, like, whenever he sees, like, Cap grab it and everything, Thor goes, I knew it. Like, he knew it all along because he saw it move.
Okay. All right, that's an awesome throwback then.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
No, that is.
And then he kicks Thanos' ass with it.
Oh, dude, the combo moves. The fucking combo moves. He throws his shield up, throws the thing against it, it vibrates, pushes Thanos forward. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That
was a great little
that
fight.
That was awesome. But
Second best part of the movie.
that segues into like him destroying the shield.
Yeah.
I mean, the best part is when
And
Captain
everybody
Marvel
was like,
comes in.
I don't know about you guys, but I was like having a heart attack.
Yeah,
I
I was
like,
too.
oh
Yeah.
god, he's gonna die, he's gonna die, he's gonna die. And then it's like, and then like he's standing there, Thanos summons his army. And then, you know,
Dude,
you
Cap-
get that great pan shot of Cap
That is, like, the
walking
best
against
shot
the
of,
army.
like- That's the best shot of the
Yeah.
MCU.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
just there. He's like standing. He's got Mjolnir in one hand, broken shield in the other, tightens the shield, and then just stands there against Thanos. It's
Him
like,
against the whole army.
yeah.
Yeah,
like
and then
Endgame.
you hear on your left. And
Yes.
it's like, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wasn't it
And
Strange that said that?
No, that was Falcon.
Oh, it was
Falcon.
Falcon. Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was
That
great.
was the best part of that entire movie is when they brought everybody that got snapped away
That was great.
there. Plus,
I disagree on it being
everybody
the
that
best.
didn't.
I disagree on being the best, but I'm really biased about it, so
I
that's
loved
fine.
seeing everyone.
It was
Yeah.
good visual.
Yes.
Everybody was there. Like,
Well
and
done.
it's like, and then everybody's ready to fight, and you even like you see Pepper Potts in an Iron
Right?
Man suit or the rescue.
In Rescue.
That was great.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I love seeing her there because I like seeing Pepper in the suit. Like
Yeah.
that was awesome. Ever
Yeah.
since Iron Man 3, I like seeing her in the suit. But you see, like everybody, Doctor Strange brings everybody.
Yeah.
You know, the Guardians are back. Spider-Man was
I
back,
know.
and I was like,
and I love that Tony just grabs him and just like holds
That's
him.
true.
And like
Yeah.
Tony's just like,
Isn't that
this is
your-
nice. This is nice.
Yeah.
because he's like, he's so happy, he's like
Yeah.
alive. He goes, we did it. Like I did it. Like this.
Well, that
is-
didn't last long.
I know.
We'll get to that part. That's
I
gonna
know.
be like
Did
a tearjerker.
Okay, so we're getting towards the end of the big fight, and then we've got some like post discussion of like the wrap up and everything. Did you want to break it into a second one real quick?
Yeah, let me pause this here and we'll start the second part here. Because I don't trust Audacity to not break on me in the
Yeah.
next 20 minutes. Because I don't think it's going to be too much longer.
No,
but
it should be
just
like another 20.
20, 30
some
minutes
minutes,
maybe.
yeah. Yeah, that's about it.
So I'm going to end it here. We'll come back for a part 2 real quick. I'm not going to break it up when I post it. It's just going to be one long thing. So we don't have to worry about different stuff. Anyway, no one else needs to hear about that stuff. Okay.
We're gonna
so,
take a quick break.
Yep, quick break, and we'll be back to just wrap it up with the end of the battle and what kind of happens in the aftermath. So yeah, stay tuned. All right, part 2. We're gonna wrap this baby up. So where were we, Jake?
Avengers.
No one's ever really gone.
Yes.
That's where we're at.
No one's ever really gone.
So yeah, Cap standing there and everything. All like, what did they say? It was like something like 60-some main actors are there on screen at the same
holy
time.
60?
Not
It felt like
not
more.
including like just like all the little other people there. Like, you know, like
No, that sounds way too high.
is it or was it like 40? I don't know because they've got
Well, it
all the
depends on
Black
what you
Panther
can-
people there.
can-
Oh, are we
Consider
counting
them.
them?
Oh, everyone was there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you said main actors.
Yeah, main actors. So like I would
Those are
I would
little
consider
Just like
Shuri
the
a main
headliners, like
character. Okay.
Named people.
because you got Ant-Man, but then you have the Wasp. Is that like would
Yeah.
the Wasp also?
I would say that's a main Avenger.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. But are we talking
Actually,
about
Wasp
each of
is
the
a main
individual
Avenger.
Wakanda
That's
people?
correct.
Because
Yeah,
that's...
that is true.
Yes.
No.
I would consider them like a
no.
main actor
no.
in the movie.
You get...
Who?
No. You get Black Panther, and you get his, like...
Baku.
M'Baku.
Baku, and
Shuri.
Yeah,
Shuri.
Shuri, and then the other one. You get 4. You do not get all 800 of his people. You get 4.
Okay.
Okay. There is no way it's
Well, there's
40.
also his girlfriend.
There is... Does she do anything? Is she there?
She's a
for
fighter.
it?
What?
She fights.
She's
there,
there?
for it? I don't think
Wait,
she's
wait,
there.
wait.
I don't know.
Black Panther's girlfriend's there?
I don't
know.
It-
Is she?
I haven't
don't
seen
know.
it
I'm
twice. I
asking
trust
you.
him
You
more than
brought it.
you.
Were you not watching the
I
Black
wasn't
Panther
really-
people?
Look, okay.
I don't think she was there.
The screen is so big, I can't focus on everybody at the same
But
time.
you saw it twice.
It's
you-
hard.
you need
There's
to
so many.
delegate
There's
your
60
eye
actors
looking.
on the screen at the same time.
No,
But
60's way too high.
40.
Everyone's
No,
a main
40's
actor.
way too high.
How? How is that? There's 22
The
movies.
Chitauri
If
are
you
all
take two
actors,
characters
damn
per
it.
movie.
Okay,
So
and how
then
many
it'd
of them
be
are
200
repeats?
actors.
You don't get to, you don't count Iron Man 3 times because he had 3 different movies and he's on the screen once. You don't
3
be like
different
3.
versions of
No,
Iron Man
Jake,
are on the
and
screens.
that counts as 1. Okay?
Harley from Iron Man. 3.
How many Avengers were in Infinity War fighting for the good guys?
Like 12?
I'd say
Thank you. That's a lot more reasonable.
30.
No.
What the hell are you smoking?
Look, Look,
Were you
okay.
drunk when you watched it?
If you're taking all the main Avengers and all their counterparts from
Yes.
their franchises, it will climb probably 30 something.
I could
right?
see 40 at the most.
I would say 40 at the highest. Okay.
With their counter, with their
But I thought you already
That's
said 60.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a real big jump from
Fine.
60.
That's what they said in the directors say, but I believe whatever they tell me
I'd
at
say
this
like
point
40
because
or
they do
so,
everything
just because
right.
of.
Okay. So some 40 people are on the screen. Can we move on?
Are we
Is that
good?
okay?
No, technically.
Well,
there are more
no.
than
Now, if
40
we're just
people.
talking people, it's a lot more. You said 40 some titular people, and that's wrong. Now,
All right.
40 some people, way too low. There was all of the Black Panther people.
Continue.
Don't forget about all the sorcerers.
Would you like to continue?
Yeah, the
You wanna keep
sorcerers.
going?
Yeah,
Damn it,
we can
Doctor
continue.
Strange brought his whole
That was pretty
entire
great.
army of sorcerers, which
Plus,
That's
Black
amazing.
Panther
They're all
brought,
dead.
brought all of those people too. There's a ton of people there.
the
Apparently,
army of Wakanda.
apparently,
yeah, he
all
brought
of the Ravager ships can be seen in the background of Titan as well, because they came to fight
Wait, didn't.
as an Easter egg.
the rep. You mean from
Guardians.
Oh yeah, Sylvester Stallone's group
Yep.
of people.
Yeah.
Wow,
Oh.
I thought he
they
was
were
going to
seen
be
in the
this.
background as an Easter egg.
Yeah, they didn't do anything though.
No,
No.
they were there.
They're just there to watch.
Oh, no, but they were there.
Everyone is here.
Okay. Because no one's ever
Because
really
no one's
gone.
ever
Never
really
really
gone.
Avengers assemble. Case in point.
And they fight.
And they fight.
Which
It was kind of a short-ish fight.
In comparison to like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Let's not go there.
Oh boy.
Let's not.
That's a whole other episode.
No, that's an episode and a half, maybe 4. But yeah, it was kind of short. But I mean, you didn't really watch the whole fight. You watched more the journey of the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which that's cool. That's
Yeah.
fine with me. Who this Clint has it first, then Spider-Man, or
No, because I thought
no, it's Black Panther, then
Oh,
Spider-Man.
yeah. Yeah.
Spider-Man gets grabbed by Valkyrie,
Yes.
and then I think it gets to
Where did
Captain
the
Marvel.
Pegasus thing come from?
Yeah, I'd like to know
I've
that.
Oh,
always
the Valkyrie,
wondered that since I watched the movie. I was like,
okay.
Because
where
she
did
didn't
that
have
come
one in
from?
Ragnarok.
No.
No, I'd like to know about her breeding the last Pegasus.
Yeah.
That'd be neat to know.
Yeah.
You know what, Jake? I don't think
She kills
you
a
were
space
counting
whale.
on everybody
Yep.
looking
That was
that
pretty-
far
She does.
deep, where she just picked this Pegasus out, and she goes, "Look, okay, I'm breeding you."
All right, Asgard is gone.
Yes,
You
maybe
tell
she
me-
raised it.
New Asgard.
Maybe she raised it. New
Original
Asgard,
is
maybe.
gone. You telling me someone
maybe she
saved
knew how to
one of the only
raise a
Pegasus
Pegasus
there?
Maybe she was the only smart one that thought,
smuggled
"I'm going to
the
go save
Pegasus.
this."
She
Yeah.
wasn't even a Valkyrie before Ragnarok. Valkyries were dead.
Wait, no, yeah, she was.
She was a
She was.
Valkyrie,
Yeah,
she
but then
was.
she left it.
Right.
She left the mantle and
But
then
she
came
was.
back.
Yeah.
She was, yes.
They need to bring the Valkyrie back.
She is it.
Asgardian.
She is the Valkyrie.
She is the Valkyrie.
More Valkyrie.
multiple Valkyries.
Yes.
Valkyrie.
There is no Valkyries. I am the Valkyrie. I'm the Senate.
Yes.
Don't worry, no one's ever really gone.
No one's ever really gone.
So we get to Iron Man and Spider-Man's hug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was before.
Yeah,
That was
Was
before.
it? I can't
however-
stop touching on that because
I
it's so
thought
good.
I thought Cap threw the gauntlet to Iron Man because it was coming your way, Queens.
No, that was Spider-Man.
Was
yeah.
the other way?
Yes,
Okay,
it
my bad.
was.
Yeah, you guys,
That's-
you're
sorry.
coming your way, Queens. Cause,
Yeah.
However,
yeah.
after everything, they destroy the van with the time travel that Captain Marvel was going towards.
which
Yes.
fucks
Yeah.
everything up.
Yeah, Thanos does get the gauntlet back again, puts it on, and then tries to snap again.
Well, he does get to snap.
Well,
Well, he tries to
before
snap
that,
once with them
you
all
see-
in,
Yeah,
and Captain Marvel stops him.
that's
which
right.
literally, I thought that was really cool because you see
Yeah.
her hold like the snap in her
Yeah.
hand. The
Yeah.
power of the snaps in the palm of her hand. She's like
Yes.
trying to stop, which I thought that was really cool. And
then-
then she stops it, but then Thanos is like, "Okay, I'm getting overpowered by her. I got to think of something." He pops this power stone off and knocks her into.
Yeah, that was
Next
the
year.
best. Just to get
That
Captain
was
Marvel
great.
away
Yeah.
from him, he had to take a stone out of the gauntlet, hit her with it, and then that took that. Like,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
She
that
got
was pretty
punched
good.
really hard.
Yeah.
It comes up
Yeah.
to suffer.
I
I don't like her character.
Thank you.
But okay, so
She blew up a ship.
yeah, which was awesome.
A ship.
Because then, do you see how freaked out he got? He goes, "I can't get
Yeah.
away. I'm stuck here." Like he was like worried about
Shouldn't
it.
she have
And
done
then,
that before he bombarded the whole...
well, she
She wasn't
arrives
there
when
yet.
she wants to.
Oh, that's true.
She comes when she wants.
Deus Ex
But,
Marvel.
But we saw all the female superheroes on the screen at the same time. Which I thought was kind of cool because you go from the first one, Pepper Potts, to the end.
It was gratuitous.
That was a heavy sigh.
It was
It was a little forced.
As a
It
female,
was
a little forced,
it was
but-
really forced. We don't need it.
My wife rolled her eyes at that point because she was just like, really?
Yeah.
But it's Disney. Disney's good at Disney. I mean,
It's fine.
And that
be
leads
honest.
to...
It was another thing of fan service they had to throw in there.
yeah, exactly. You just
I
gotta
like
brush it
seeing
off and
Pepper
say,
shoot
okay.
Thanos with the little lasers. I like that.
Her and Iron Man back to back was pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was awesome. That was something we were hoping to see
was
the
really
whole
neat.
Yeah.
this whole 11 years, But then like Thanos overpowers Thor and Cap.
Yeah.
You know, when that's when I thought Cap was also going to die there because I'm like, this is it. Like,
There was
this is
that
the
part
final
whenever
battle.
Thor, Mjolnir came back to Thor, and Cap had Stormbreaker, and then he
He
just
goes,
throws.
no, you get the little one.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
But then,
classic Avengers
I like-
humor.
But like Thor was so accepting of like
Cap holding Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Like he goes, you can have it.
Right. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is fine. I thought this
Because
would
he
be.
had Stormbreaker.
Yeah, but I thought it would, because Thor's whole thing was resting on like, oh, I'm still worthy and all that, and like I don't know if it would hurt
I
him
think
to
it's
be.
because he talked to his mom and kind of got over
Probably.
it. I think that's where they would go.
Once he got the reaffirmation of you are worthy, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't care where it is. I mean,
Right.
Okay.
I can still wield it, but I've got this one
Yeah.
Yeah.
that can behead Titan
I have
gods.
Kratos'
Right?
axe.
Are we at the Doctor Strange part with Tony? Or are we just about there?
Oh yeah,
we
can-
are.
So when
Yeah.
they pan to Doctor Strange, and he does this, like he puts his hand or his finger up, and I'm like, oh no, and they're looking at each other.
Yeah.
My literally stomach just sunk to like the deepest pit that it could have because I'm like, oh, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Doesn't
I
Iron
sink
Man
into my
say-
seat and I'm like ready because you know it's like that phone's at home. Like
It's coming.
something's gonna.
Doesn't
bad's gonna
Tony
happen
say
to him.
like, so as this go along the future, you saw Doc, and then
Yeah.
Strange is just like, if I tell you what happens, it won't.
Yeah. And that's
So
Yeah.
you think if he told him there, he wouldn't do it because he
Yes.
would overthink himself and he
well,
would
because
be like,
he
no.
does hesitate later
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, no, because at the beginning, before this time travel stuff started, he told Cap, "This is my priority.
Yeah.
I cannot risk this."
Yeah.
So, but then he sees Thanos, overpowers Captain Marvel and Thor and Cap, and he's the last Avenger near. So he goes, "It's down to us." So, I love how he goes up there, tries to take it off of him, and then Thanos like punches him away. Then he like tries to snap, and it's like,
He's
what?
like,
and he's like,
you don't
"What?"
understand, I'm inevitable, and then snaps.
Yes.
And he's like, "What? There's nothing here." And then Jake, take it away.
He pulled the switcheroo.
Just take it away.
And then it
I
cuts
can't-
to-
I can't do this part.
It cuts to Tony with all of the things on his hand, all the
Stones.
stones on his hand.
And you see it like vaporizing
Yeah.
him, and I'm like, I can't do
It-
this. I just can't do this.
See
I'm
that
not
part
ready.
for me, and
this.
whenever he does the "I am Iron Man" is
And
the
it's like real.
best part of the
was
movie.
great.
To me,
That
was
was-
my
Is the best
Yeah,
part.
that scene right there before, like right before he moves his fingers to snap, is like
yeah.
that's the image.
Yeah.
That is the image of that whole.
It was the beginning
The
and
Infinity.
end of the MCU.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm just
You gonna be
Yes.
okay?
no. I don't think I ever will.
No.
No, see, I think I felt so weird after watching the movie, and I think like a night or two after we finished watching it, I like looked at you and I was just like, "Do you know we're living in a world where Tony Stark is dead right now? Like, like he as a character does not exist anymore. He's dead.
Yeah.
It's weird. For 10
What-
years, he's been like
What
Iron Man.
was your reaction immediate? Like when the snap happened, or was it when the gems went there and you saw him burning
Yeah.
and you were just like, he's dying. You
Yeah.
know he's gonna die.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that he had the stones, I was like, "This is how he goes."
And when he says "I am Iron Man," it's like labored, like
Yes.
he's really hard for him to talk.
yeah.
And then
and you've seen what it does to all these other superhuman people.
Right.
and it's a human
And
doing
I was
it.
gonna say, and that's it. Like, Tony Stark isn't even a super soldier like Captain America. He is just a person.
He's an engineer.
Yes. Yeah. So
To be
you.
honest, though, when you really think back on it, it could have really been either. Mm-hmm. Him or Cap. Like, really, it
Yeah.
could have been either. at that point. But it was always going to be him because of what Doctor Strange did in Infinity War.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was always going to be Tony because he always said, like, I will not save you or the kid.
Right.
But then he saves him and he goes, we're in the Endgame now. And then that's the reason he saves him, so he can snap and destroy Thanos and his army. Which everybody got a standing ovation when they saw Thanos evaporate finally. And I'm like, that was fantastic. I love that.
It was neat that he just sat down and accepted his fate.
Yeah.
That
He
was a
doesn't
really
say
cool
a word. He
No.
doesn't
Yep.
say a word. But then, like, you see Tony, like, slaying on the thing, like, his face is burnt, like, everything's...
know.
Oh, that's...
I don't know why Tom Holland is so good at pulling heartstrings.
Yeah.
He is a great young actor,
Yes.
honestly. Like, he is
That
fantastic.
whole time
like,
he's there talking to Tony kills me.
It's odd that Tony doesn't react to him, but he reacts to Pepper, though. I thought he'd react a little bit more to...
I did too. I agree with
like
that.
when
though.
Rhodey sees him and Rhodey starts, like, crying,
Yeah.
like, out of... Like, not crying, but, like,
Yeah.
you see, like, tears coming down his face because he knows he's... You know,
Yeah.
This is
not
the final
making it,
moments of
yeah.
his life. And it fools you almost to a point where Pepper Potts fools me for a second when she goes there, and she's not immediately just hysterical.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, okay, we're going to be okay. And then I thought
That broke me whenever she's like, it's okay, Tony. We're going to be fine.
You can rest now. And
Yeah.
then you see the arc reactor go out, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the worst thing that could possibly have
Did
happened.
people are legit... Did you cry, Adam?
I did.
Okay.
Here's the weird thing. Mine was delayed. That whole part,
Yes.
I did not cry.
Yes.
He died, didn't cry.
Yep.
Okay.
After.
Yep.
Because
During
then...
the funeral and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you see a proof that Tony Stark has a
That's
heart.
exactly
That's
where
when
I
it
started to cry.
because then I think of my own personal memories with this character,
Yep.
and that's when it hit me.
I
And I'm
s-
like, oh my god.
I
like,
started
it's
to tear
really
up
over.
there, and then I really started to cry when Happy sat with Morgan
That
and
Yeah.
started.
That was it.
That was
yeah.
That was it. When it pans to everybody, and you see Cap crying, you see Rhodey crying, you see Thor's not crying, he's just solemn, like
Yeah.
he's just sad he's gone. And then it goes back farther and farther.
It's the
And
initial
you
shock.
even see, everybody's shocked he's gone. And then you see that even the kid from Iron Man 3, who's
Yeah,
now a
Harley's
teenager,
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
which was really cool. That they went that far to get somebody like that
Oh,
to
yeah.
go there. But this scene, and she hit it right on the head. As soon as you see Happy sitting with the kid, and they're talking, and they're talking about cheeseburgers, whatever, I lose it completely
It
at that
doesn't
scene.
help that cheeseburgers. I know this is like the most random callback, but like Tony actually got like
First thing off the plane, he was like,
first thing off the plane and was still like holding on to it whenever he went into his thing and just announced that I am Iron Man, and then it's like, what food do you want? And it's just cheeseburgers. I'm like, no, you don't. Like,
They did really well at calling back to almost each movie he was in individually, though. Because the first one with proof that Tony has a heart from Iron Man 1, but then it calls our memories back to Iron Man 3 with Harley being there. It was weird that he was there, but then, like, you notice him and it's like, oh shit, like Tony affected him too, which he did.
Yeah.
But it was really good.
which I think he'll have a role here soon.
think?
Like down the road, I think he will somewhere.
I could see
Could.
it.
He could be the new Iron Man.
Could be. I
Iron-
always
Technically
thought
take
that was
over.
the plan.
Iron
You know,
Lad.
Yeah.
I think that
Iron Boy.
she will eventually be the next person in the suit, but it will be called Iron Heart because technically that's what
Okay.
she's called in the comics because there is a person after him.
I saw that it might be Shuri as well.
Shuri. Could be Shuri.
Could be Ironheart.
That part, like, if they would have ended the movie there, I would have been fine with it.
I think
Honestly, that was...
They kind of should have.
I
think that would have been a very fitting
See,
ending.
I don't think that because I also like what happens next. Plus, I'm so
Well,
broken up
let's
about
talk
it
about Asgard first.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
Thor
get
goes back to Asgard, and then he gives rule to Valkyrie.
Because she's a good leader.
To be fair, he's not.
That
He
was
very-
is, but I didn't like it.
I'm honestly pissed off at it because Thor 3 saw Thor becoming a really good king.
Yep.
Like towards the end, and what he did in Infinity War, I understood it affected him, but he was showing really good
Promise.
promise as a king. in Infinity War, protecting his people, protecting Asgard as the people, not Asgard itself. I'm mad because his character took like 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah.
But it does set up for Thor 4 or Guardians 3. Like, his character arc isn't over.
I think that, like, as far as the movie's being called Thor, I think that's done.
I think so.
He's just going to tag along wherever.
And he's just going to have this little arc, kind of like Hulk has throughout all of these movies.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, that was the end of the original Avengers. That was it. Like, they're going to be side characters. They'll show up and they'll do some stuff here now and then, but they're not going to be here. It's the new guys, and I think we'll see that officially take form in the Spider-Man movie. Because then, that whole movie, honestly, that's going to be him about dealing with Tony no longer being around.
Yeah.
That's going to be the premise of that.
He doesn't have Tony
movie
to come bail him out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't wait to see that movie.
Hurt.
That movie's going to be great, I feel.
Hurt. It's going to be great. It's going to hurt.
Awesome.
Yeah, he looks great.
And there's a lot of villains.
Yeah.
There's like 3 or 4 villains in that movie, too.
The Elementals,
Which we've done that with Spider-Man movies before, and we should be cautious.
So we'll see.
I'm cautiously optimistic about it.
I'm
Yeah.
always
I think it's gonna
cautiously
turn out
optimistic
well.
with these movies, but
Other interesting thing to take away before we talk about Cap, everyone that's a main character in Spider-Man was snapped.
Yeah.
Because they're still the same age in Far From Home. So it's interesting to think about, and we talked about how we wanted, like, even just a TV series about people dealing with the snap and then it coming back suddenly, because it's like, these people are in the same grade. Some of their classmates have graduated.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's going to be neat how they, like, deal with that, though.
Yeah.
In the Spider-Man movie, where he's like, wow, this kid I knew, he's graduated, he's in college,
Yeah.
That's going to be so cool to see.
Unless they just don't touch on it.
They might not.
Who knows?
Because all of his
That'd be
all of
really
his circle,
cheap to not, though.
Yeah.
But
I don't think they will. I'm going to be honest. I think they open up a whole can of worms.
all of his circle was snapped, though. And that's the way they're getting around it, though.
Yeah.
So,
It's giving
So, Cap. Which I think we seem to be split on. All of us seem to be split on. Like,
I think the idea was there. I like the idea.
him going
I
back.
honestly don't really find that big of an issue with it, other than when he looks at Bucky before he goes in. Bucky knows what he's going to do.
Yeah.
There's not even no words need
yeah.
to be said. Look at Bucky's face that whole time. He knows he's not going to see him again. Not that version of him anymore.
Bucky says, "I'm going to miss you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so he knew.
and everyone there was just kind of like, why'd you say that? He's going to be back in 5 seconds. Mm-hmm. Like, it's going to be months to him. It's going to be seconds.
But to be honest, what's left for... There's nothing left for him to do. Like, it's done.
Right.
His character arc is over. Which, honestly, you could see him doing that because you remember back when they did the time travel in 1970. You knew this was
they set it up very well. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he goes back, and, okay, we can get tied up on this, like, the little stuff in the middle. How does this affect today?
It doesn't.
When he goes... Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
That's how they get around it. It doesn't.
Yeah.
He puts the stones back, and he just keeps going back. And he goes, okay. Then, he lives his life with Peggy, which I love the cutscene where they flash and they're playing the song, and they're in their little house.
Yeah.
I thought that was so
wanted it
cool.
to end there.
Yeah, that would have been a cool
I wanted
moment.
us to
It
see
should
him
have ended
dancing,
there.
and that was it.
And then, but here's the thing. I actually liked seeing Old Cap. I liked that whole scene because I liked the acting in that scene. Was great. Even with Chris Evans with all that prosthetic or CGI, whatever it is, I can't even tell.
I think it was a different actor.
No, that was him. That
It was
Chris
him.
It was?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Oh,
him.
I
They
thought
said
it
it was
was
like
an
90% CGI, 10% makeup.
Oh, weird.
That is kind of weird.
And he's
okay.
sitting there, and you see like this old man sitting in front of a lake,
Yeah.
and then it's Falcon that goes over, not Bucky, which we all were led to believe.
Mm-hmm.
But before everybody sighs at this,
Oh, no, too late. I sighed.
Let me.
Go for it.
That is in the comics. Falcon does become Captain America in the comics. Now, for however long, that's the question, but he does.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I'm okay with it.
I was okay with it because it was a decision between Bucky and Falcon. Like,
Yeah.
Bucky told him, go ahead. Like, I think knowing that this was a passing of the torch and whichever one of us goes up is the next. And Bucky kind of, like, was like, no, that's fine. You go ahead.
I don't think he ever wanted to be Captain America, to be honest with you.
I could see that.
Which I'm okay with. I'm okay with it. Like, and I loved that, but it's so heartbreaking though
Yes.
to like watch him as like this old man. Like we just saw him like 5 minutes ago as the the prime of his life, and you see him and he's like. But I felt so happy for his character though because he got what he wanted in the end.
Yeah.
He got what he always wanted from the very beginning of the first movie. He got what he always wanted. And he deserved it.
He got to live his life.
Yeah, he got to live the
And I
life
think
that
that
he
was good.
always was meant to live, and I thought that was a perfect way to tie him up. Now that he's given him the shield, and he goes, and then he goes, "Will you tell me about her?" And he goes, "No," and then they pan to it, because then we get to see it. It's basically him telling us about her in his life, not Falcon, which I thought was kind of cool. But. Is that the last we see of Steve Rogers, though?
Yes.
Probably.
I don't think there's any reason for him to be in anything else.
Actually, no, this is where it gets weird. Because I was looking into it. I'm going to have this moment. No.
I just wanted to say real quick before we get into theorizing stuff, I wish he wasn't there. Like, I wish old Steve Rogers wasn't there. I kind of want it to be like that Back to the Future Part 2 type thing, where this guy shows up and he's like, I have a message for you, and gives like Falcon like
that would have been better.
an enclosed parcel or something, or he
Yeah.
gets it in like an end credit scene, opens
Yes.
it up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
note from
he's
Steve.
there, and it's what
Shield.
2023 at that moment. He's living well beyond his lifespan there,
Which
A
could be
normal-
just the super soldier stuff.
He's like really, he was born in 19.
He's outlived Peggy by 5 years at this point.
Yeah, Peggy's already
Yeah.
gone. Like which we're still assuming she dies the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he was born because
What
it
do
said
you
there's
mean,
actually
longer
like
than
a
5
point.
years?
He's
Like
born in
6 or 7.
1918.
Yeah.
So he's like 105, right?
Yeah.
105? 105. So he's like at the end of like, we don't know how much longer the super soldier serum's going to like keep him alive at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. And that's how I think they got around that. Because it's like he has the super
Him
soldier.
being there,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it because of the super soldier serum, but I still wish it was like kind of. I just wish we didn't see Steve. Like he had his life, he left this behind, that type of thing.
So it's like, what do we do with him now?
yeah,
It's like, other than his death will probably be announced in a future Marvel movie. Probably. At some point.
Could
It will
be.
or they just don't address it.
yeah.
They just kind of leave it as
He
is.
just kind
I
of
don't
goes
know,
back
though.
to his life that he's been living silently
But I think-
alongside the Avengers.
But I think you do got to announce it somewhere, and they'll. I wouldn't put it past them to do that because then they can make a storyline out of it.
I think sometimes they have a habit of trying to over-explain things. Like
Yeah.
maybe they try and show too much. Kind of like with this scene. I think it would have been much better if, like you said, Jake, where they ended it right with him dancing with Peggy.
yeah.
Done. Nice, perfect scene there. You don't need to show anything else. We are
What is after
intelligent.
that? Is that it?
What?
Is that it?
After him
I
on the
couldn't
bench?
remember.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
that's the end of it. The movie's over after that.
Like he gives Falcon the shield, and
Yeah.
then Hulk's,
Yeah.
Then it's over. I think
It's over?
I think that was just a little bit too much. They're just they just can't leave it alone. It felt like where
Well, I think
Lord of
they-
the Rings.
yeah.
They had Lord of the Rings syndrome where you just keep going and showing more. Just leave it. I don't think everything always needs to be explained. Sometimes you can leave it
No.
up to your audience to use their brain. to
I
figure
thought
out what
Lord of the
happens.
Rings kind of ended perfectly, though. Not to tail off, because if I start talking about
No,
this,
that's something
let's
else.
stop. Let's.
Okay,
I'm just
Stop.
saying
What I
it
will
had like
say-
6 endings. That's all.
It.
for over explaining, it could be a great Easter egg in a future movie
Yeah.
where there's a newspaper clipping on like Peter's wall. It's framed. It says, "War hero Captain Steve Rogers dies at record-breaking age of 111." Something like that.
Something subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'd be okay with that, but then I wouldn't. Then I also would be okay with them honestly just putting it on like a news, like Peter's
Yeah.
walking in Times Square and sees it on the thing,
Yeah, that'd be fine.
or
And then people ask
or
him, "Why are you
Hulk
upset?"
sees
Out
it
of
on
no
the
reason.
TV or something, and then he gets emotional or something. Which I'd be okay with that. That'd be great because that adds to whatever they're doing next. But that getting back to him handing the shield to Falcon, that sets up the Disney Plus show they needed to set up the next phase
The buddy cop
of
thing.
Marvel.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
they haven't said what they're doing next.
No.
And they've
No.
said that they're not going to tell us until after Spider-Man comes out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which kind of worries me.
This is the first time we don't have anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and it's like, are we taking
it's always
a break?
ended at Infinity
Like, are
War
we-
Part 1,
what are we
Infinity War
doing
Part
here?
2.
Like, it's like, what are we doing? Are we taking a break? Are we continuing on with the next phase immediately?
I think they're
Like,
going to
what's
take a break for a year or two.
All we
I
know
think
is
they
who
have
has a
to.
contract for sure.
Oh, you don't think they will, Rachel?
if
I don't. I think if
you don't think
let-
they can leave it alone?
I don't. I think if they leave it alone, then the popularity dies down, and you have a lot
But
of
you
people.
could build it back up in a couple of years.
But
You could.
they're also
It
at a
makes them
saturation
so much
point
money.
after
It
this
makes them
movie.
so much
Yeah.
money.
Remember how
It's
with
all about
Star
that.
That's
Wars?
like saying they'll leave Star
I
Wars alone.
have a feeling because
Well, I think they're gonna have to.
remember they hit
Right.
Star Wars twice, and remember when they had two Star Wars movies come out too close to one another.
Boy, that didn't work.
that really backfired on them, and that's a shame because Solo's a good movie in my opinion.
It's fine, yeah.
But I'm worried about that happening with Marvel because after Endgame, that was so unbelievably epic.
Yeah.
You can't top that right now.
No.
So it's like, what do you do?
Give
say-
Spider-Man a month
Yeah,
later.
Spider-Man, which
But it's nice though if you look at Spider-Man more as an epilogue because
Yeah.
epilogues are never
That's
as
really what it
grand
is, right?
and epic as
Is
the
it?
We're
main.
looking at,
is
yeah.
it not like an epilogue?
like a
That's
conclusion.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
the end of Phase 3.
yeah.
I think Phase 4.
Yeah, they said this isn't Phase 4. This is
Yeah.
Jake's
He's-
right.
Oh, I
this
thought it
is
was.
No, he's Phase
This is
3.
the end of Phase 3. Jake's
He's
right.
Oh, we got it wrong
Yeah.
then when we talked about
Yeah.
it before.
Yeah, that
Okay.
is-
I can see one movie summer of next year, Doctor Strange 2, Black Panther 2, and then another movie
So
November.
you think they're gonna go back to 2 a
for
year?
now? I think that
Yeah.
would be
I
best.
think that's
Yeah.
smart because
I think the Avengers need to be
Yeah.
an outside thing that if an event's happening,
Yeah.
it goes inside of the two movie.
I don't think
standard.
we'll see another Avenger movie for a long time. Like
No.
for another at least 5 to 6 years, possibly. Like
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be a while.
they're gonna need time to build up the next crop of Avengers.
Yeah.
The new Avengers.
But who knows now? Now that they have the Fox acquisitions, nobody knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, any closing
What
remarks?
was that thing about?
Oh, you want to talk about
Yeah, right, yeah.
Steve Rogers.
They asked the directors, Peggy Carter was probably already married and in her mid-40s in 1970. In that case, what year was it that Captain America went back to dance with her? And their answer was, we can't answer it for now. This is a story that happened in an alternate reality. Maybe it will be revealed in the future.
I don't want them to go
Thank
back
you.
to that. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, I didn't like that was their answer at all.
No.
At all. Because I did want, there was a bunch of questions because we did know that, she did have a husband, she did have kids, but I mean, that kind of would have even been okay if it had been Cap this entire time, but she just couldn't tell that young Cap visiting her
Right.
that
She couldn't say.
she couldn't say. But it'd been him all along. That would have been
that
fine.
That would actually make sense that it was him that was the husband and they had kids with.
So they're gonna
and
go
they couldn't
back?
blow his cover.
Right. But
makes sense.
they're like alternate timelines, and I'm like,
They could set up for a Disney Plus show.
People have
Right.
been talking about Agent Carter getting rebooted.
Yeah.
For Disney Plus, which I'd be okay with because I liked Agent Carter. I think that's a nice show. But honestly, though, and this is just me being incredibly selfish about the character, I would love, like I said earlier, if they did a Cap movie with Steve in the past, doing something,
Yeah.
facing Hydra in the past, exposing. That's a question.
Bringing him out of
What if
retirement.
that?
They could.
yeah.
What if Cap goes and exposes Hydra early?
Well, it is an
'Cause he
alternate
knows.
timeline,
It
I
could
guess.
happen.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
That like I said, they were so loose with this time travel stuff that really anything's possible at this
Yeah.
point.
Which is nice and also not nice because it doesn't really give its own rules
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, with other Disney stuff, we've seen they can break their own rules.
Well,
too, if they choose
before
to.
because you guys got Game of Thrones,
We do.
Don't want to be late for that.
is this the best Marvel movie?
I'm gonna be honest. No, I think Infinity
No.
War was better.
Yeah.
We agree.
I just think overall the structure was better
The story itself,
and the story was better.
the end stinger,
Yeah.
just the build up towards everything. I will say Infinity War is still the best Marvel movie.
especially with that
See,
ending.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree and say Endgame.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
The fan
And
service is
honestly,
there.
Yeah.
I went in
Yeah.
thinking that exact thing. Thinking there's no way it's not going to top Infinity War. By the end of it, I was like, you know what? It's better. I'm thinking because there is a lot of fan service, but what really tipped it for me was the battle. Everybody
battle
being
was-
there,
yeah.
Yeah.
and seeing everybody, just how everything was wrapped up and to that point with Tony and everything. That really, there's just too many amazing moments in that part that I can't put it above. Even though Infinity War, I will give it the number 2 slot. Even though I know that's like, why did whatever. But
Endgame was great.
and I know I loved
Yeah.
Endgame. I loved it. I'll probably watch that as soon as it comes out again.
Yeah.
Plus, I'll probably go see it again. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did watch the first Iron Man movie, and this is like a small little cliff note on here. It's amazing. It is so freaking amazing. Just seeing it like 11 years after the fact, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this movie is still so damn good.
Yeah.
Like it gets everything right that it wants to do, and then some. Like it gets you so invested in him as Iron Man right off the bat, and then he ends it in an Endgame as he begins it. I am Iron Man, and if that's not a perfect ending to an arc, man,
Right.
I don't know
Yeah,
what
that
is.
was good.
Honestly, like,
I love the whole end credits too, going through every major
oh, did you
Avenger.
guys catch that?
Yeah.
Whenever they're
With
going
their
through,
signatures and everything.
well, I meant like
Yeah.
the metal clang,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, yeah.
which I watched the first Iron Man for that reason, just to hear the clang and see if it was the same. It was when he's building the
Nice.
first suit. It's that clang that he's hitting the metal with, and I'm like, damn, that's so nostalgic and great.
I do think next leader of the Avengers will be Captain Marvel. She's
Okay,
going to get
yeah.
a better arc at some point, and she's going to be the fish out of water like America was, Cap was. I think that MVP will be Peter Parker for a while. Like,
Yeah, I
he'll
think so,
kind of
too.
be...
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's that link to the past.
Yes.
Yep.
Even
Oh,
though
yeah,
he's
'cause
the
I
young
did
kid,
was like-
he's going to be the bridge
Who
between
else
the
is
old
going
and
to
the
be in
new.
the Avengers? The new Avengers? Is it just
Black
like a
Panther.
film? Black
They've
Panther,
also said the
Falcon,
Doctor Strange.
What Ant-Man?
Is Strange going to be in it though?
I don't
he an
know.
He
official
was never in the
Avenger?
Avengers.
He wasn't. That's right.
Well, at least in the movies, he wasn't.
Like
Yeah.
he wasn't officially like
Right.
an Avenger
Because he has other stuff going on, kind of like Marvel does it.
Yeah, like
But then I think that stands the point too that, well, if Captain Marvel can do this with other stuff going on, why not Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Who knows?
So are they
I mean,
really
we'll
all
see.
Avengers
He's
at this
guaranteed to
point?
get another movie. He has
Yeah.
one in his contract.
Yeah.
is it just
So.
one that we know of?
So far, I
I
think.
think. Yeah.
But that is actually one they've been talking about very recently. I think that's going to be next year.
I think so too.
It'll be
Is he the
it'll be
most-
an old Marvel
Yeah.
character for us to kind of link back to and kind of get more
Yeah.
closure on
Is
the
he
whole
like-
circumstance.
You'd think he'd be their most expensive get at this point.
I
Right?
think
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
is.
but after what they
taking-
were probably paying Robert Downey Jr. per
Oh, yeah.
movie,
Oh, did you see
anything
what,
is
did
fine.
you see what he was making?
I did not.
Last time I checked, and this was last year. I can't confirm this, but I did
I'll
see
Google.
They did.
that he
release
was getting
everyone's-
like 100 per.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This,
he was the
got
highest paid
meaning
actor.
he got 100 for Infinity
That's
War,
insane.
and he got 100 for Endgame.
Yeah.
So he made $200 million off
In
of
two
two
movies.
movies, which is unheard of. If I was him, which I would think he'd be, he would have enough clout to do this. I would do what Harrison Ford did with Force Awakens and go, look, I want 5 cents in every dollar this movie makes. He'd be
But how much money? Okay.
he'd be a literal billionaire.
I just want to know how
you
much money is enough money.
It's not.
Okay.
that's how.
I guess that's
how
because we're average plebes here.
Yep. It is
enough to live. That's enough money, right, guys?
And I just want to
100
know.
million, I think that's an okay amount.
He was
just want
paid
enough.
$75 million
Okay, yeah.
for Infinity War.
What was
Okay.
the?
And it's approximated about $105 million for Endgame.
I was almost on the mark, but anyway.
Look, I know this might come as a shocker. That's not what I make, guys. So
Yeah, I know, maybe.
I make a lot more. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
We
But
make way
considering
So
how
much
much
more
that
than
movie's
that.
already made, though, that's like giving him like $200, really, after it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Or like 100K
Is it
or
though?
something.
Yeah.
This movie's gonna make like it'll
It's gonna
make
make, like,
3
Yeah.
billion. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna make 3.
It's second slot right now behind Avatar.
What's
And it's
Avatar
only been
at?
2 weekends.
What
Yeah,
is Avatar
that's
at?
crazy.
I can't
That's
even actually remember.
insane.
I thought it was Titanic. What was the
It
thing?
held up
They
the wrong
just
time.
beat Titanic.
Yeah.
Like just couple days ago.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm surprised that Marvel as a whole has done better than Harry Potter.
2.2.
I-
They're 2.2
It's
right
kind of one of
now.
those things you just don't think is going to be
Yeah,
topped in your
like, yeah.
lifetime, and then it is, and then you're like, I don't even know where we go from here. But
I saw
something
Harry
will happen
Potter
after this too in our lifetime
7
that will
times,
beat
man.
this.
Wow.
I saw that
Yes.
movie 7 times when it came out. The last Harry Potter movie.
It is
That was-
$600 million away from beating Avatar.
It'll be close. Is that
Considering
just,
it's only a week and
box
a half in.
office, or is that total sales?
Box office grosses.
Okay.
If we adjust for inflation, it's like 40. So it's like 41st.
Oh.
Because Gone with the Wind is the highest grossing film ever,
After
adjusted for inflation.
Yeah, it
Yep.
is. It is. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, that surprises me.
It's weird.
I don't know though, because that movie's been out for 90 years, so it's like
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, movies only ever go up, I guess.
Because no
Like,
one's
yeah.
ever
No
really
one's
gone.
ever really gone.
No
Nah,
movies are ever
no
really
movies-
gone.
That movie's a testament to that.
Well, you guys
It's
got to
never
get
gone.
to get home
GOT,
to
man.
watch some GOT.
Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage.
Okay.
Okay, let's wrap it up. That was fun. I'm glad we got to talk about some Endgame. I think it was a really good movie overall. No movie's perfect, so there's gonna be things I think in every movie that we kind of just go, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, but overall, I
Excuse
think
me,
they did a
Infinity
good job.
War is perfect.
Jake loves him.
It's very close to that.
Infinity War is really good, though.
I would agree with you on that. It's very close. I think Endgame did a lot of good things too.
It did
yeah.
fan service right.
Yes, it did
It
it
built
not
up
in
10
an obnoxious
years.
way.
It built up 10 years. We deserve the fan service, and they didn't overdo it.
Yeah, I would agree
Yeah,
with that.
I would
completely.
agree with that.
Yep. So yeah, thanks everybody for listening. All like 2 of you, besides me,
He's
because
the
I'm gonna have
one.
to listen to this in the edit.
One
But,
day we're going to
yeah.
be famous and making Robert Downey Jr. money, and people are going to be in our
Yes.
backlog re-listening to these. We're
I
like, where
can't
were
wait.
we?
If I'm not making $105 million,
We'll just put you out of your misery.
I'll just-
Yeah,
We'll just-
and then I'll just take your money.
just,
Yeah.
I'll be like, I've lived my entire life to make. I was like, I have $1 million. I've lived my entire life, and now I can say I've made $1.5 million. Oh, that's sad.
Well, maybe we'll be back.
That's sad. I'm like, that's sad.
Right, guys.
We may be back for Spider-Man. We'll
Times-
see.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be this long.
No, and I don't think there would be a
half an hour
pre to Spider-Man. We
No,
kind of it's
'cause
been
this,
covered.
This is
Just a
kind of the
quick chat
pre,
about it.
you know.
Yep.
It would just be us talking about Endgame more.
All right.
long. Yeah, probably.
Maybe we can cram Harry Potter in.
Oh, I'd love to have a
Oh,
Harry Potter
yes.
podcast.
Oh,
maybe
man,
some
if
fun
I-
to do that.
Yep. That and Lord of the Rings. I think we've talked about doing.
Oh man. So real quick, Lord of the Rings. I want to do. I have all this summer from school,
Okay.
so I have time. The main problem is those are very long movies.
3.5 hours apiece.
The Return of the King's 4.
Yeah, let's do it. Dude,
Yeah.
we're not
Here's what-
watching
okay.
the cut versions.
So here's what I'm
We're
thinking.
going the extended.
It's
whole
all in-
way.
Oh, yeah,
Actually,
I have
no.
Extended. We're
Side
yeah, it's
note.
extended.
Oh no. Side note. Me and Jake have never seen the non-extended. We have
Really?
we've never seen it not
And you're
extended.
not missing anything. Extended's way better.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so we have no.
I
We watch it.
cannot-
We have no idea what people cut. We have no
I
idea.
cannot-
I don't
A
know.
lot.
It's to the point I can't watch the theatrical cuts anymore.
Yeah.
I can't.
They cut some
they've-
really important
I know.
stuff out.
I don't know how they
Especially
can
in
do
3.
that.
In 3,
Yeah,
they
'cause
cut
they did.
so many things out.
Okay. Yeah.
So for these movies, I was thinking maybe we could do like parts.
Yeah.
Like use the internet, find out where good places are to stop the movie, so we could discuss like a part
You
one. and
mean
part
when
two
the
of each.
discs ask you to change?
There you go, Nathan.
Forgot about that part. Yes.
The movies were
You are
so
the
long
internet.
they could not
Yes.
fit all of it on one Blu-ray
I
disc, so it's got
forgot
to make
about
another
that.
Blu-ray
Okay.
disc.
So that's actually a great point.
Maybe when
we
they
can
put
just
them
do
in
that.
4K,
Okay.
it'll all be on one disc.
Isn't it already on 4K?
No, they haven't done them yet. Thank
No.
God, because
And I was like, thank you.
I'm gonna spend at least $200 on that shit.
Oh, at least.
What do you think? Like a 15-year like anniversary edition in 4K or something?
I
like
don't
We
know.
that?
already that far?
Yes.
They already
my
put Harry
God.
Potter on 4K.
4K.
I
which
know.
That's why I'm low.
I've been
I
trying
know.
to get
I
my
haven't.
hands on, and
I've
it's been
avoided.
unsuccessful.
Well,
so
they're
far.
expensive as heck. Too.
They are
I'm trying to
expensive.
get
Who did
them.
Lord of the Rings?
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
No.
No, it
Oh,
wasn't.
New Line Cinema.
New Line
Yes.
Cinema.
Yeah.
So they haven't, yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't put because Warner
Because
Brothers.
him and Peter Jackson, they had a big feud.
Warner Brothers is the first out of the big film studios to throw all their stuff on 4K. I remember when 4K just came out, and Warner Brothers was the first one. Like, here, guys, we're gonna put all our shit on there right now, so you can have it.
I think Disney was second right in line with Star Wars.
Disney took a
Disney
while.
was late.
Time.
Disney
They
was
took-
late.
Disney did take a long
Guardians
time to
2
do that.
was the first Marvel movie on 4K.
Yeah.
This is the
I
first
remember that.
Disney movie on 4K.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's right.
So.
How about that?
Yeah.
I waited a long time to buy Lion King on 4K. Do I have a 4K player?
Did you see the
No.
4K Steelbook?
I have it. I own it.
I was gonna be like,
Excuse me.
I'm a
I own it.
pleb. Okay.
I have the box set from like about
I am a measly Disney
5-10
peasant.
years ago. I'm just
Oh my
guys.
God.
Look, listen. I have a Disney Blu-ray collector's set of Lion King 1, 2, and 1.5. That includes the 3D version of it. Oh no! And then I have
actually like the
I
Steelbook.
have the Steelbook re-released from the Disney Signature Collection.
Oh wow.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
about a year later, they said she keeps spending money. Let's see how far this goes. And they re-released it in the 4K, and I have that
Is it better in
Steelbook Blu-ray.
4K?
I
Like,
don't
what's
know.
it-
I don't have a Blu-ray player, but I
We don't
own
have
it.
a 4K player.
We have a 4K TV. We don't have a 4K
Oh, you
player.
don't have Xbox.
Dude, we've bought an Xbox twice and traded it
Three
in
times.
twice.
You want
Three
to buy
times.
one?
Three times.
That's all. That's the reason why you have an Xbox One S. That's the reason why I
That
still have
was.
one is
And
to
then-
use it.
and then
for
we
that
didn't-
reason.
Stick with watching 4Ks and all that. And our Xbox was so loud, I actually hated
is
watching a
very
movie
loud.
on it.
Every time I picked
Quiet.
up the controller, it was dead.
Yeah.
But batteries.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Like my S is quiet. Was there like an internal?
We bought it
issue?
pre. Did we buy it pre-owned?
yeah, we
that might
did.
be why.
Yeah.
That might be why.
It's because
Could be why.
GameStop had them for like 149.
I was gonna
after
say
Christmas
it might be
went by.
worth
Yeah.
reinvesting in not in an Xbox, but like a 4K Blu-ray player.
Right, and that's-
it looks unbelievable.
At this
I
point,
know,
we're
yeah,
waiting
we're-
to see
we're
if
thinking
it's
about it,
integrated
too.
into 5.
What I was going to ask you is the animated. I didn't see a huge jump in it because I bought that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now, grant you,
Oh
that's
my God,
a whole
that movie is so good.
that's
We
a
haven't
whole
watched it yet.
different like dimension of stuff. And I didn't. I'm like, would it have been the same if I would have bought the Blu-ray?
Okay.
So that's why I was going to ask you. I was like, does the Lion King look any better in 4K?
It looks way better.
You'll really
Will
see the
always.
Lion
than
King
Spider-Man. Spider-Man
Does?
does. Oh yeah, it's so crisp.
That movie's great.
It's
that movie's
very
fantastic.
clear.
We have got
All
to
right,
get
yeah,
going.
yeah, you
All right,
guys
let's
gotta
wrap
get
this
out.
up.
All right,
Thanks
see
everybody.
you guys.
Bye.
Have a good night.